Well, welcome to Canterbury. We are moments away from the start of day 2 of this County Championship Division 1 fixture between Kent and Hampshire. Slightly shortened day yesterday because of the weather. Hampshire invited to bat first in overcast conditions, reached 213 for 7 at the early close. 61 overs of play was possible, so we lost 35 in total. Tom Prest will resume this morning on 15 not out, Kyle Abbott on 2 not out, and this is going to be Matt Parkinson, who picked up 3 late wickets yesterday, and the ball did turn. He will get proceedings underway. 12 overs, 3 for 31. Matt Cole, he's back with us.
Hello.
I'm Kevin James.
It's me, yes, Matt Cole. I remember who I am. At least that's a good start for the morning. Welcome all, yeah. Brighter this morning as I say that, actually a little bit of a gloom overhead, but 213 for 7. Kent, the last session really was their best session, and actually one of their best bowling days of the year. I know that's not an incredibly high bar, and I'm not. That's not even joking apart. But looks like there's some turnout there. Matt Parkinson was saying really pleased with it from a bowler's point of view. Little twinkle in his eye said, "Well, September. Surely that's when the pitches are supposed to turn, isn't it?" So yeah, he'll get us underway. And bowling to Tom Prest, who cuts that away, and that's a lovely shot actually. Danny Bell Drummond dives at backward point. And thrown in by George Garrett, I think, who's there on the boundary. And that is a single, no, 2 to start. Actually, quite gently taken by Tom Prest on 17 now. And Kyle Abbott on 2. Kent took 4 wickets in the final session yesterday. We only really had 2 sessions, didn't we? That spins away from the Hampshire batter and gently into the gloves of Harry Finch. Just one slip in, that's Charlie Stobo. And otherwise, it's not a particularly attacking field. They've got men on the drive on the offside, a couple of them an extra cover, in fact. One of them, Joe Denny, took a fantastic catch yesterday. And Tom Prest has noticed that there's no one on the drive and the onside, so it's a knock and run into mid-wicket against the spin. Then Compton picks it up from mid-on, and they'll take a single. And a preview coming for BBC Radio Kent. I was about to say how much better the weather was than yesterday, Dom. It's a little bit cloudy overhead now, a little bit gloomy, but Kent are bowling. Hampshire 216 for 7. Kent had one of their best days in the field yesterday. Rain truncated as it was. They have Hampshire with 3rd place in the county championship. 213 for 7 overnight. 3 wickets for the man who's bowling right now, the leg spinner Matt Parkinson, who said with a gleam in his eye last night, you'd expect the pitches to spin in September. He's got a pitch to his liking. Hasn't been pretty much to his liking all the way through the season, the expert spin bowler, but he's wheeling away now, hoping to get more wickets, and Kent hoping to be batting soon. That one has spun. It's beaten the batter through to the wicket keeper. 217 for 7 then Hampshire. Kent need to win this one, and probably their remaining 2 as well in the county championship to have any chance of avoiding relegation. Big task against 3rd place Hampshire. Let's see how they start with commentary online right now and regular radio reports, of course. And single taken to the end of the over, and actually that one, you did see that one turn off a length. 5th ball of the over. Otherwise, Tom Prest looked like he was dealing with it pretty well. 19 he is, Abbott has 3, Hampshire 218 for 7.
Yeah, I thought Kent bowled better as the day went on, actually. I mean, it was, I don't think any team, but either team would have hesitated in bowling first. The conditions. I think if Kent were honest with themselves, they could have bowled better in the morning. So maybe I think Hampshire are not quite sure what a good first innings total is. Here, normally a good first innings total is about 400, but I think with the conditions that we had, you'd have to considerably lower that. So Hampshire are not sure whether 218 for 7 is an okay score. I think they feel if they get to 250 in the conditions, it's pretty good. Stobo from the Nackington Road end bowls to Prest, pushes that towards mid-wicket, and there is no run. They certainly bowled better after tea, Kent, collectively, and I think, again, if they're really honest, if they'd bowled collectively better from 1 o'clock, I think they might have had Hampshire all out by now. But we'll wait and see. Hampshire would love the conditions to stay as they are. If the sun starts coming out, then of course the wicket starts flattening out and gets a lot easier for batting. So definitely a good toss to win. Prest plays that to backward a point, and he remains on 19. I think the real surprise in the Hampshire camp was how much it spun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's taken them a little bit by surprise. And A.D. Birrell, the Hampshire head coach, talking to him last night, he was suggesting that had they known what they saw late on yesterday, they might have actually had the team selection slightly different. Maybe Felix Organ would have played. Stobo, with his right-arm medium paces, playing a missing outside off stump, is pressed. Goes through to keeper Harry Finch. So I'm not sure how much of a surprise it was in the Kent camp that it was spinning.
Yeah, I would say from Matt Parkinson's interview last night that they thought it might turn, but weren't perhaps aware again of how much it would as well. Because I think they would have played a second spinner if they did, looking at this pitch on its merits now.
I'm sure. Stobo bowls slightly fuller, driven by Prest. He's half thinking about a single up to mid-off. Bell Drummond feels and throws it back to the keeper. Score remains on 218 for 7. The other thing as well is how much of that turn is down to the fact that the pitch is probably a little bit tacky with all the rain that's been on. Yes, it's been covered, but it still gets damp, it still gets moisture in it with all the covers over it. So is that turn there because of that? And as the wicket dries out, that might disappear. Lots of questions as Prest turns that away square on the leg side for a single, moves on to 20, 219 for 8. So there's some questions that the Hampshire camp aren't quite sure which way this is going. Will that turn stay with the pitch, or will it slowly but surely disappear?
Because it does. It has flattened out here during the summer, certainly as far as any, I suppose, life from a seam point of view. Will that be the same for the spinners throughout here, as you say, or will it be a one-day only thing? Can't we hoping?
Yeah. Well, the cloud remains fairly heavy over and above, then the moisture will sort of hang around a bit. But once that sun comes out, then we may see things very differently. Abbott's forward to Stobo, who's yet to pick up a wicket in this Hampshire innings. 219 for 7. Hampshire so far have added 6 to their overnight total.
I think if you're just joining us, we all agreed yesterday it was a good toss to win. I think conditions were gloomy. Garrett was getting it to, of all the seam bowlers, getting it to swing as well as move a little bit off the pitch as well. Took 3 wickets yesterday, and then Parkinson came into his own in the final session. It's a final session, about 2 sessions. The other session, taking 3 wickets in a row, and Hampshire going from 135 for 3 to 210 for 7 effectively. 219 for 7 now as Tom Prest faces. 20 he has and drives it into the offside to Andamieye Fields. The snood is, I would say, to Andamieye snood maybe a couple of inches lower today. It's not covering the entire face, so which is where he started yesterday. I think he was obviously very chilly, fielding at slip. Parkinson to Prest. That's a good-looking cut shot. And it goes out towards the boundary, and single taken. It's moving quite quickly between balls as well this morning. All feels a little bit procedural in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like almost like they're trying to get on with it rather than there's a pressure. And there's Jack Leaning is called in from the offside boundary almost comically. Runs in really, really quickly. Whose legs going 10 to the dozen to come into a mid-off for Kyle Abbott, but Abbott doesn't put the ball anywhere near him. He just opens the face and runs it out towards backward point, and there's a single. 221 for 7. I think maybe Jack Leaning had forgotten the plan for a moment. Oh yeah,
looked like he'd run on from the dressing room.
Yeah, come in for Abbott. Out for Prest, who leaves the ball outside. Looked like that one went on with the arm. Not sure if that was the googly, but didn't spin away from him. 221 for 7. Chat with Joe Denley, who took, well, actually in that position, took an incredible catch yesterday. It was extraordinary. Over the wicket, then the leg spinner. Prest gets down early, plays it more or less on the full, just bouncing onto the bat, deflects it into the onside. Trying to negate any spin, and it's out to mid-wicket fielded by Ben Compton. Here's the plan, everyone remember, when Kyle Abbott's batting. 2 slips in now. I wonder if they're trying to up their over rate here, because they are -2. They got into position very quickly, those slips. Daniel Bell-Drummond alongside Charlie Stobo. Blocked out by Kyle Abbott. And I do wonder if they're thinking, well, if we take 3 quick wickets here, we're going to be -2. We're going to be in deficit. But 22 for Prest, 4 for Abbott.
Yeah, it's game by game now, isn't it? The points deducted if you're behind on the over rate. Hampshire have already been penalised this year.
So,
yeah, I'm not sure Kent have actually. I'll just check that.
Don't think they have.
Are they not? I can check for you. Are you sure?
No, do check for me.
So Kent, yes, they've got deducted 1 point.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Hampshire have been deducted 2, which is the most in the division. Durham and Nottinghamshire have also been deducted 1. Stobo bowls, Pressed on the back foot, steers that down to the vacant third man area, and that will run over the practice wickets, and that will go 4. These are all valuable runs this morning. A. Bill feels that if they can get to 250 as a minimum, then he feels that it's a good score. He wasn't sure about the score last night. He said it could be, it couldn't be. But he feels once they get to 250, that's a pretty decent total, which is fairly unusual for here. That's never usually enough.
Absolutely.
I think it's just the overheads that meant, and of course the damp conditions yesterday. I'm just looking in Division 2. Gloucestershire have been deducted 8 points in total for over 8.
Really?
My word, that's far and away more than anybody else. Press works that from straight down towards mid-wicket.
Has their spinner not bowled at all this summer?
Well, it does suggest somebody's been a bit lazy in that bowling lineup. Sussex at the top have been deducted 3. That's the second most. Hampshire third most, and I mentioned the other teams in Division 1. Derbyshire at the bottom, they've been deducted 1. 8?
Yeah, go some to do that, wouldn't you?
They would have been in 5th place, Gloucestershire, had they not had all those points deducted. Driving is Abbott. He's found the gap through the covers. It's going up the hill. They've settled for 1.
And that's definitely the slow over rate, is it? I'm thinking about the game that was abandoned there.
That's the abandoned game. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Unless have they had the points deducted? Because wasn't there was going to be... It was going to be referred to the ECB for...
That's true.
So maybe that's already been decided.
Maybe so, yeah.
You're right, it does seem an awful lot, doesn't it? I mean, it sounds like all their bowlers are lazy at -8. I think you're right. I think that 8 must be. Stobo in again, bowls, Pressed on the back foot. Ball trickles out into the covers. Yeah, because that was only, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. I'm just checking which game that was when the point was deducted for Kent, by the way. I think it might have been Warwickshire, so I'm basically taking no responsibility at all for that, because that was a couple of weeks ago and I wasn't there. Sorry, it's last week and I wasn't there. So it's not my fault.
Yeah. 2
weeks ago it was, wasn't it? Yeah, we had the T20 last week. There you go.
I can't find... I don't know whether that is, but it must be there. Down the leg side. Just flies through a little bit to Harry Finch, which surprised him. Score remains on 228 for 7. Hampshire have added 15 this morning without too much alarm. Still overcast.
Yeah. This bowl is 66 overs old, 65 overs old. Nice. Still trying to get something out of it, the seam bowlers.
Stobo again, right arm medium pace into Prest. Just pushes it to the man who's short and straight on the leg side. End of the over. Prest has 27 and Abbott has 5.
Do feel free to get in touch today. You may know the media already, the social media I should say. At BBC Kent Sport for us at Kent, or kentcricket@gmail.com if you want to write us a short essay on what you did on your holidays. It's that time of year, isn't it? School restarting. And Kevin...
Oh, no, we'll use yours.
Yeah,
the regular ones for me will know mine, but we'll use yours, otherwise it's too confusing. It takes too long.
It takes too long to say as much as anything else, isn't it? Yeah. Here we go. This is Parkinson then to Kyle Abbott. He pushes forward into the offside. He has 2 slips still there. And Jack Leaning is at mid-off rather than long-off. Just checking. So he defends that one away. The lost point. There we go. Feels like an epic coming up from Philip Bailey, our man who knows the stats, into the offside, and there is a no run. Thank you, Philip, again for informing me on Kent's losing run and where that lies in their history. Not something we probably want to repeat that much for a Kent supporter's point of view. They're all too aware they've lost 6 in a row. They've never lost 7 in the Championship. Philip telling us yesterday. It's Parkinson to Abbott. I'll get to that email at the end of the over because Parkinson is getting through this pretty quickly. 27 pressed, 5 Abbott so far. Kevin has been called away on business, or for an update even. That's Parkinson. This one turns into Abbott, looked like that one, and deflected out to the leg side to Joey Everson, who fields at mid-wicket. He's then going even further out as Tom Press comes to strike. I don't feel like any pressure on the batters today. One's beaten the bat from Parkinson in the early overs, but much more than that. As he takes this one on, and Joey Everson will have something to do. Can he stop getting to the boundary? He can't. Almost slapped low by Prest. He's put that shot a couple of times. Keeps his hands pretty low, bat low, and slapping that along the ground, bouncing away through mid-wicket, and that's 4 runs. There we are. Philip, thank you very much. I was right about Warwickshire. It's very rare that I'm right, Philip, but there we go. It was the previous game against Warwickshire. Pretty careless, he says, when losing. Yeah, I can understand your feelings on that. Driven into the offside, and Joe Denley fields smartly. That's hit straight at him by Prest. End of the over. 2-3-3 for 7, so 20 added from their overnight total. Hampshire here. And he backs up what I thought Gloucestershire -8 was for the substandard pitch. There we go. Philip, thank you very much. Supposition turned into cold hard fact. That's what we like on the cricket commentaries. It's our BBC Radio Kent, BBC Solent, and via the BBC Sport website and app, and by some smart speakers as well. Now, just ask your smart speaker to get BBC Sounds to play Kent v Hampshire Day 2. And they should oblige. Here's Stobo to Abbott, just outside the off stump, left by Abbott, comfortably through to the wicket-keeper. Not too much bounce, reasonable carry. Prest has 31, Abbott 6. Gloomy overhead, the floodlights are shining brightly. There was some, for safety reasons, these floodlights can't go up when there are high winds, and they're worried about the gusts today, but they're fine for the moment and are shining out through the wicket-keeper as Abbott leaves that again, seeming away from him to Harry Finch with 72 on his Kent shirt, on the white shirt. Alongside him is Jack, leaning hands in pockets, a sort of second slip position, but he is the only slip. A backward point, slightly backward for Compton. Cover. Mid-off, mid-on. 2 men at mid-wicket, Denley and Millet for the chipped shot up there, and a deep mid-wicket as well for boundary rider Jazz Singh, as this one's hit with power by Abbott, but straight to Everson, I think that is, that extra cover. And then George Garrett is at deep backward square at the moment. And sorry, I went through all the ways that you can get the BBC commentary. Of course, you may already be watching and listening via the Kent Cricket stream with the pictures. We welcome you, whatever medium you're using. Here is Stobo to Abbott. Opens the face, runs that through backward point. Compton is herring after it. That won't get to the boundary. They'll take 2. Will they take 1 for the throw? No need to risk it. And that is 2, 3, 5 for 7. 2 more for Abbott. Just let's give them out on a call there. So yeah, Kent's our man Philip Bailey has confirmed that Kent's 1 bowling point deducted off for a slow over 8 was at the previous game against Warwickshire. As I said, I take no responsibility for that. That'll be Ben Watts' fault. He was there for that one. So, as Stobo to Abbott down the leg side, didn't get a touch on that, taken by Finch. And, that Gloucestershire 8-point deduction has been deducted by the ECB now for their substandard pitch. I think that was a game against Northants a couple of weeks ago. I'll shout for encouragement for Charlie Stobo. Ball to come at the 67th over. And he bowls now and defends that. Jacqueline's gone out towards a gully position. End of the over 2-3-5 for 7.
And Tom Prest has added 16 to his overnight total. And Kyle Abbott, who was 2 overnight, has added 6. So decent progress and not too many alarms, which, I don't know, from a Hampshire point of view is either good or not good. If you look at things out there and just take the 20 minutes of play we've had so far, but maybe a lot of that is to do with the fact that this Kookaburra ball now will be very, very soft. So Matt Parkinson, 3 for 44, having been 3 for 31 overnight. I haven't seen one that's turned a lot this morning. Even when it did turn, it didn't turn quickly, or there was a lot of bounce, but it was just awkward the way it did turn. And 3 big wickets, Vincent Dawson to name 2. So we're getting a short leg in, hence a break in play, getting kitted out. And in fact, who's that got kitted out? Ben Compton?
Yeah. He's
got the shin pads on and he's staying at mid-off. Mid-on.
What a dangerous position, that.
Well, I was going to say, blimey, feels that something's a problem.
Watch out for those balls grubbing along the ground and smacking you in the shins.
Obviously, we'll be going in there when Kyle Abbott's facing, you would think. But it's pressed to face, driving, slapping that out to deep cover. 236 for 7. Press moves on to 32, and Compton does now. Jogging, ready to take his position at short leg. Gets thrown the helmet. And he'll be in there close. That short leg. I would have a gully in there. He's going around on the offside. I would suggest that's probably more likely. Dawson was caught in the gully, closing the face, playing it on the onside. Abbott has actually played Parkinson quite well this morning.
You're
to
right.
be fair, he's smothered the spin. He hasn't tried to drive at a ball that's not quite a half volley. That's where you're going to come a cropper. But so far he's been very disciplined. But there's Compton at silly mid-off, really close in. Parkinson bowls and dead bat. Dead bat Abbott, they call him.
What, just today?
Yes, or just now.
Just generally.
There's Parkinson again then. So a slip and a silly mid-off. Man on the drive. Again.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, very.
That's where he got the nickname from.
Yeah, dead bat Abbott.
Ben. So I accused Ben it being his fault that Kent's over 8 was slow at Warwickshire because I wasn't there. But he was saying they actually bowled 31 overs of spin during that match. So that really was remiss of them. Yeah, all right, maybe it's not your fault, Ben.
But we'll find something to pin it on you.
Don't worry, there'll be something later.
Push that to extra
because he's not here, obviously, to defend himself.
That's right. So we just put it all on him.
Yeah, but yes, 31 overs of spin and still your overs too slow. That's,
Parkinson. Abbott's on the back foot this time, steers that into the gap on the offside, jogs through for a single, moves on to 9. All very valuable runs for Hampshire this morning. 237 for 7. They've added 24 in the 23 minutes of play. And he doesn't quite look as dangerous this morning, Mr. Parkinson. Bowled and pressed his forward. Maybe there's not quite as much turn for him this morning. Why? If I'm honest, I don't really know. Has the wicket dried out a fraction more and giving clues already as to where it will go over the next couple of days, and maybe the spin will become less? Still trying to work all that out. I don't think I'm the only one. I think both camps will be trying to work that out. 237 for 7 we've had in the game, 68 overs. We actually lost 35 in total yesterday. So about a third of the play we lost yesterday. We'll make some up today with an extra 10 minutes this morning, and I think we're playing an extra 6 overs or 8 overs in the day.
Yeah, it's usually 8, is it? I think
8.
It's 104 in total. So Stobo bowling to Abbott. Well, he blocks that one to the offside. There we go. Dead Bat Abbott was his name. No, he wasn't called that, was it? What are you saying?
Yeah, Dead Bat Abbott.
It was dead, yeah.
I have made it up, by the way. He doesn't know anything about this.
I can't believe that.
Just think it's a good way to play, especially with Parkinson.
Yeah.
You run the risk driving if it's not quite a half volley.
I think Daniel Bell-Drummond's seen what's happened so far this morning. Not much, but again, bowlers. And he's trying to jig the field around, just give Abbott something else to think about. Press has looked pretty secure. Abbott has been, as Kevin was suggesting, blocking. And blocks again, or defensive. Sort of orthodox forward defensive shot. So he's got leaning at sort of first or second slip position, then Denley is a gully, but we haven't seen any sign that the seamer's going to get anyone edging anywhere at this point. It's been solid on the line.
I think Prester's played a miss once at Stobo this morning.
Yeah. He's got his bat on his shoulder. Just waiting to take his guard now. It's back past the bowler. That's a bit of tacking for Dead Bat Abbott. He's trying to push that past though up to mid-on.
I might reel back from that a little bit just in case.
I'm sure I've seen him whack the ball in the past, but you see him a lot more than I do.
No,
so
he's fine. I'm just talking about this morning, really, and how to play Parkinson, which of course he knows. But I know his dad listens a lot from South Africa, so he might pass the message on. Kevin James has been calling you Dead Bat.
Watch out, the sun's out now. Well, sort of watery sun, milky sun, trying to enforce itself on the day's play into the offside, but I would have to say it's as bright as it's been this whole game. There we go. We've got the floodlights on as well, but clouds higher, blowing across the ground pretty quickly from right to left as we look at it. The old Dover Road to our left, if you know this ground, with the new apartments at Freeman House. We're looking towards the Les Ames stand and the new scoreboard at the far end of the ground, the Nackington Road end, from the pavilion block. As Stobo bowls to Abbott. And yeah, it's not taking any chances this morning out towards cover. But having said that, don't really seem to be any alarms or surprises for the two Hampshire batters here either. Both of them going out and doing a bit of gardening, but I wouldn't say we've seen very much variable bounce in this pitch either. Bit of turn. That seemed to have disappeared a little bit for Matt Parkinson today. 2-3-7 for 7. Stobo comes in, last ball of the 69th over. Bowls to Abbott, back at the bowler. And a maiden over for Charlie Stobo. But again, no alarms for the Hampshire batters. 2-3-7 for 7. Press has 32. Abbott has 9 so far.
Yeah, my weather app is showing for it steadily to improve throughout the day. So this watery sunshine that we're getting now may just become a little brighter and a little warmer as we go through day 2. And then I've got some rain coming in, but I think that comes in after the close of play.
Yeah, it looks like, I think the morning forecast, or when I first checked, it was suggesting that might come around 5 o'clock. It's now being pushed later in the day, so, as you say. So that's good news for prospects of play today.
Parkinson in. Slapped away again through the offside by Prest. Moves on to 33, 238 for 7, which, from a Hampshire bowling point of view, not ideal. They ideally would have loved to have bowled this yesterday morning. I mean, that was ideal bowling conditions, no doubt about that. And maybe the weather conditions today suggest that this wicket will just start to deaden out a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. Parkinson bowls flighted, turned away on the onside by Abbott. He's run down the wicket there. That's Ian Blackwell going to say, the umpire. He might just let him off. Oh no, he just says get off. He's like straight in. The umpire hasn't wasted any time there. Move over. Sometimes as a batter you don't realise you could just your body weight and your balance just takes you down the wicket 2 or 3 paces and you don't need to. Oh, there's a plastic bag.
Yeah.
It's an orange one, suggesting it's from the
Mier is beaten Mier. It's going at quite some speed. Well, I mean, Tawanda Mier is quick across the ground. It's evaded him with a whatever the plastic bag equivalent of a sidestep is. Tawanda's lost his cap in the process. Oh, he's moseying around at extra cover now.
It's just behind, leaning. That will suggest it's come from the convenience store at the entrance to the ground because it's the same colour.
It is the same colour.
That's related to that convenience store.
Freddie Young then. There we go. On the club staff.
Yep.
Man of many talents. Good stop, sir.
Parkinson bowls on the back foot. Abbott steers that out to Denley. That's short extra cover. They'll get a rap on the wrist, won't they? That supermarket for allowing their bags to roll across the ground.
I think a fine's in order.
Yeah, somebody's paid 5p for it anyway. Lost it. They've lost their 5p. That's played back to the bowler. Or was it 10p these days? I haven't bought a supermarket bag for a very long time.
Well, that's because you're so eco-conscious.
Well, of course.
I'm not surprised.
Well, I'm glad you've noticed. Always thinking about the environment, me. Here's Parkinson. Trying to reduce my carbon footprint. That's played out to extra cover. And there is no run.
I'm taking this as a face value. I'm sure the listeners are as well.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Every morning I wake up and I think, what can I do to help the environment? That's pushed back to Parkinson. End of the over. He's completed 17 overs now, 347. Hampshire are 238 for 7. They've had half an hour this morning out there in the middle, and they've yet to be parted. Prest on 33 and Abbott on 9. Yeah, usually I think about it for a little while and then I go and have a big fry up.
Go. Well, at least it goes through your mind.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a thought that counts, they say, don't they? Leaning's just doing some back stretches there. I don't think that presages him coming on, but it'll be interesting to see what Daniel Belldrummer's thoughts are now, with not very much happening right now with the new ball. So 10 overs until it's available, but he's cycling through his seamers at one end with Parkinson at the other. I can understand why he's keeping Parkinson on. He's the most economical of the bowlers so far, and it's taken 347. He's brought Garrett back, was the man that got the breakthroughs yesterday. Middleton and Gubbins in the first session of the day. Ben Brown just afterwards. He bowls now to Prest. Tries to work it into the onside, and there's no run. But Parkinson said as a group at the end of the day, they got together and discussed it. They didn't think they bowled particularly well in the first session. But, well, as the statistics show, had dragged things back a little bit in the afternoon, but better.
Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned that a few times, didn't you, that how much better they appeared to be doing. It wasn't just the conditions, but just stuck the task better. Back to Garrett from Prest. He immediately flips it up, Garrett, with the right, off the right palm to Joe Denley, who's standing more or less next to him at that point at this shortish mid-off position. Sorry.
I think it's difficult because you've got so many seamers missing.
Yeah.
You know, a fully fit, functioning Nathan Gilchrist, I think, would have been quite a handful in the first hour.
Yeah, Garrett now to Press, comes down the pitch, bit of a leading edge there, turns him around slightly. Does Garrett? Not sure there's any movement there. Might have just got a little bit. Up towards Daniel Belldrummer anyway at mid-off, I would say, and there's not been much movement, but that looks like the one that's been most awkward to play for the batters so far. Yeah, he's trying to work it into the onside. Hasn't quite got himself into position, is he there? Tom Prest.
Looks like the ball is held in the turf a fraction.
Yeah. We saw a couple yesterday, didn't we? Just stick before it got to them. This is, well, there we are. He's almost rehearsed that shot, the ball before. That's more to his liking, but he finds Parkinson at mid-wicket on the ground. There's no run. Notice Prest a couple of times. You were saying that almost a slap. He plays a pull very, very low, almost like a sweep, doesn't he, through the leg side and through the offside as well when he's opened the face. Just keeping the hands very low.
Very bottom hand when he slaps it through the offside. Almost allows him to get a bit closer to the pitch of the ball.
Certainly working so far. 33 for him from 61 balls. Hampshire 238 for 7. Haven't lost a wicket in the first half hour. Back in his crease, pressed back at Garrett. Another dot ball. It's been a decent over so far. Update for BBC Radio Kent listeners. Yeah, no wickets so far today, Dom, for Kent. They're trying a bit of everything. The spin of Matt Parkinson. 2 seamers have been on show as well. George Garrett bowling, who took 3 wickets yesterday. A good first over, good tidy first over. Kent have been economical with their bowling so far. As I said, they really want to take Hampshire wickets quickly and force the advantage perhaps that they took yesterday. So 213 for 7 yesterday has turned into 238 for 7 now. And these 2 batters, unfortunately for Kent, have looked pretty much untroubled through the first half hour or so. Tom Prest has 33, Carl Abbott has 9, a maiden over for Garrett to start, hence the applause from the Canterbury faithful, who are hoping Kent can win this game and their remaining 2 in the county championship to somehow escape from relegation. Odds very much against that, as they've lost the previous 6 game. It's a record low, if you like, for Kent, that run in championship history for them. They want to banish that, win those games and hope they can stay up. A lot of work to do then. Cloudy skies, Hampshire 238 for 7 here at Canterbury, and commentary continuing via the BBC Sport website and app. So Parkinson to continue. It's ideal, I suppose. This is the ideal situation when they sign Parkinson. These are the days they thought. Spinner at one end, seamers rotating at the other.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, he's beaten on the outside edge. Prod forward there by Abbott. That's turned. You're right, and especially on this pitch, normally, I mean, I think we're seeing the characteristics in this pitch slightly different than normal. I think with the rain going into this game has just altered things a little bit. But you need something a little bit different if you're going to bowl sides out on this deck on a consistent basis. That's cut away by Abbott. 239 for 7. Leg spinner's ideal. Just something more likely to get turned, the wrist spinner. I'm surprised, actually, in a way, that his wickets have been so costly. It was about 50 apiece, wasn't it, up until this game?
He has been, in a number of situations, though, used as basically a bowler to give the seamers a rest, because they've conceded so many runs, 400-500 in every game but one, in fact, in the first innings. So he really has been used for long spells.
Comes in and bowls. There's a reverse sweep there from Tom Prest, and that's rolling nicely to where the old tree used to be. It's sadly no trace of it at all now, and that's just gone over the boundary. Half helped as well by the fielder down the far end in front of that scoreboard. Yeah, the old tree.
Yeah, absolutely. The new one is resplendent next to Freeman House now.
It's about a tenth the size. So.
It is, yeah. Well, it's only young and it's not been well. No, it has been. No, I was just joking. Yeah, it's been flourishing, but yeah, much younger.
I must admit, it's bigger than I remember it, so it's obviously doing all right, but it's the other side of the boundary.
Yeah, some would have liked it planted inside the boundary road, but Kent decided,
quite rightly. Yeah. Here's that's a few years ago now. A sweep shot. It's in the air. It's just gone almost to where a backstop would be.
Yeah,
it's very bizarre the way that ball ended up. I think it also changed direction once it hit the turf. 244 for 7. Slightly risky shot there from Prest, but he's okay. He's 38. God, how many years ago was that tree there?
I think it was turn of the millennium, close-ish. I think. Let me check.
Those of a certain vintage will remember it on the boundary. I remember fielding round there a few times. Very weird. Abbott's prodding forward, goes out in front of square. On the offside, score remains on 244 for 7.
Oh, sorry, 2005.
Oh, right, okay, so we're looking at, what, 19 years?
Yeah.
Almost 20 years ago now, that tree. Consigned to history. Abbott's on the back foot. That looked like it was the slider, or certainly the googly. Abbott's played that nicely through wide mid-on. They'll pick up 2. Abbott moves on to 12, 246 for 7. I remember fielding behind the tree, in front of the tree. Depending on where the wickets were cut on the square,
yeah,
obviously the tree was more in play or not. And sometimes, depending on where the wicket was, you were thinking, shall I field behind the tree, in front of the tree? It was quite a difficult decision, actually. But it was a big one as well, wasn't it? It wasn't, it wasn't a little one. It dominated that area.
Yeah.
Which is quite difficult to remember that far back now.
So it did breaking 2 in high winds, but it already was,
allegedly.
It was already being treated for. It was not well, that tree. I don't think it was going to last very much longer. Just reading that behind the.
Allegedly.
Well, it's driven up to mid-off. Look, I'm just saying what the tree doctors said. What's a tree doctor? Some horticulturalists driven into the offside. I don't want to joke about it because it was very close to a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah, it
was a fantastic feature, but
I'm just wondering who's got that copper nail.
You're a wicked man, and we will not countenance such talk. Kevin James, 2-4-6-7. Yeah. I always like to have that feel of backyard cricket in a professional game. Just had that. It was just sort of whimsy, quirkiness about cricket that we love. Another variable to work into the day's play. This one's worked into the onside by Press, and there's no run.
Well, it was of an era where it didn't matter. In a way, it did matter, obviously, at times, but generally you just do it. But I think the trouble was, once you had T20 cricket, having that there was just a no-no, wasn't it, really?
Crikey, the speed fielders move these days as well. They'll be forever running into it.
Yeah. But it was just an accepted part of the outfield, and nobody really minded.
That's Garrett bowls to Prest. Does pull that away. The whip of the wrists. To AA Fields at square leg, and they'll take a single. The score moves on to 2-4-7 for 7. I'm sure I said this before, but my brother lives in Chicago. I've been to watch baseball at Wrigley Field. The Chicago Cubs play there. Now they have ivy covering one wall there, and very backyardish. If you hit it into the ivy and it gets stuck there, it's what they call a double. It's 2 bases, so you can't run forever. Which again, I think has a real charm to it. The fact they haven't said, well, we'll get rid of the ivy because this is professional sport, for goodness sake. They're like, no, house rules, garden rules.
That's
good. Is Garrett to Abbott. Yeah, it's nice, played off back foot, angled out into the offside, and Everson runs after it. They come back for a 2 there. Abbott's moved on to 16 and to 14. He's batted pretty well this morning too, I think.
Yeah, very nicely. And I think we can put down Hampshire's progress this morning, definitely down to some batting skill, of course, but I think also this ball's very old now. Just over 8 overs until the second new ball's due. It is a kookaburra. We know they get soft early. I think you can safely say that batting a lot easier now because that ball is doing absolutely zilch for the seamers.
Yes, Garrett bowls. Defended by Carl Abbott. I knew there'd be a Hampshire angle to this. Here we go. As a result of St Lawrence Ground being the only first grass ground with a tree in the playing area, special laws were enacted regarding the tree. These laws may have been instigated pre-1910, where a Hampshire County Cricket Club batsman was claimed to be caught by a Kent County Cricket Club fielder off the tree. It absolutely was a catch. I wasn't around that time, but everyone knows that they were out. And then, of course, you had to have new laws just because Hampshire got cross about it. There we are.
Well, that's pretty standard.
God, obviously. It was all fine before then.
Just Hampshire got in the way.
So Garrett, that's got through the defences of Abbott, I think. Bat onto pad. The 250's up anyway. That squirted away onto the onside. Yeah, it was definitely bat. Hence no appeal, but it looked like it beaten him. And the first one today, is it kept a little bit low on Abbott?
Yeah, looked like it, didn't it?
There was a palpable ooh from spectators and fielders alike. Well, actually, no, it's just an inside edge.
Yeah, it just looked like it may have just come back down the hill looking at the ball again.
He's been pretty well, Garrett, hasn't he?
I mean, to be fair to him, he's a wicket-taking bowler, but on the evidence we've seen, and maybe because conditions were in his favour yesterday, probably helped. I mean, the ball he got Fletcher Middleton was an absolute beauty. Pitched and straight and knocked the top of off. Bowl 6 balls like that and over, you'd be catapulted into a different level of the game. But I think he perhaps, as much as Singh, they were guilty of just letting the Hampshire batters off a bit as well. As much as there were some good balls out there, there were also some let-off balls and a few of them. And I think when we were talking about, perhaps, and obviously it came from Matt Parkinson as well yesterday, and did come from the Hampshire camp as well, that they felt, Kent didn't perhaps make the most of the conditions initially. And I think Garrett was guilty of that, and I think Singh was guilty of that. But certainly Singh just improved later on by quite a considerable margin. But perhaps Kent would have wanted him to have bowled the way he finished the day off. Should have been at the start. Now we've got some Jack Leaning with his off-spin, driven out on the onside by Abbott. Jack Leaning's going to see if he can get a little bit of turn. Matt Parkinson whisked out of the attack.
I wonder if they might be a change of ends for Parkinson, do you think? Or
could well be.
73 overs gone now.
Leaning bowls. Abbott on the back foot, steers that into the gap there, and there is a big one on the offside. Moves on to 16, 251 for 7. Hampshire picked up a bonus point, their first bonus point in the game when they got to 250. And again, A.D. Birrell last night was talking about if we can get to 250. He feels that that's a decent total in these conditions that we've had so far. Now, whether that will be a decent total in the conditions we'll get from now on, we'll have to wait and see. But I think yesterday morning, if you'd have said 250, sounds like they would have taken it. But it's not a huge total. A nice drive, half stop by Leaning. That was travelling. It wasn't after it had gone through his fingertips. That's actually a really good stop. 252 for 7. Still picks up a single pressed. Keeps the strike. He's on... No, he doesn't. 40. It only changes the field because, of course, it's a little bit more attacking for Abbott. Ben Compton back under the helmet. Haven't really seen anything of Leaning, whether there's any spin for him yet. He's keeping the ball fairly full. In again. Bowls. That's a little shorter this time. Abbott just works that to mid-wicket. That's really a length for the spinners. That's a little too short, just short of a length. It's too easy for the batters. Leaning just bowled the 1 over yesterday. This is his second. It's a bit more flighted than Abbott's forward. I think we're just trying to get through to the second new ball here, aren't we?
Yeah, maybe so.
Interesting, Garrett's taking the ball then.
Yeah, absolutely. Before the 80 is up.
Yeah. Abbott's behind that one. Plays that safely enough. End of the over. 74 overs gone in the game. 6 overs to the second new ball. 252 for 7.
That's what I wonder. Perhaps if they swap Parkinson's ends here, just for a couple of overs in tandem with Leaning. Yeah, they are indeed. There we go. So, and Garrett wasn't on for long, was he? 2-3 overs he bowled in that spell. So maybe he and Stobo have just warmed up. Surely it will be them if they're going to take the new ball at 80. Great season for Tom Prest it's been, hasn't it? 2 centuries, 50, topping the averages.
Yeah, and he's starting. Yeah, he's starting to show his promise. Really, 21 years of age. Yeah, it took him a little while to get going. He was in and out the side a couple of years ago. They really wanted to get him in the side. And when he did get his chance, didn't quite take it. But he got his first 100 last year in the win over Essex at Chelmsford, which was a terrific win. And he played his part in that. And then, a couple of hundreds have quickly followed. So you just feel now that he's starting to show that promise. This is his 16th first-class match.
Crikey, that is,
that's all.
He's still young in his career. He's played, 8, 9 this year. This will be his 9th one.
Yeah. Averages 37 career-wise, and as we say, 50 this season. So, his stats are starting to improve quite a bit. They're going in the right way, that's for sure.
40 here. Parkinson changing ends now, bowling from the Nackington Road end on a slight slope, and it's just nudged out to the onside confidently by Prest for a single.
Yeah, he missed a couple of games in the middle. He got injured at Nottinghamshire with his shoulder, so he missed the start of the T20 tournament. That was the last round of championship matches before the start of the T20. Actually missed 3 championship matches. This is his 3rd in a row now.
So Parkinson from the far end. The slope will slightly slapped back over his head, thumped back over his head by Abbott, and that will be 4 runs. And well, they had mid on and mid off, but no long on or long off. And he's taken a step down the pitch, a long stride, as Kyle Abbott, and thumped it back over the head of the bowler. There we go, 257 for 7.
That's a good shot on him.
Yeah. I can see why Parkinson's bowling the other end with a natural slope will take the ball away from the right-hander. I suppose adding to any spin he puts onto it here, it'll maybe hold up just a little bit with the googly. Coming the other way into the bowl, into the batter. Whatever he's doing, Carl Abbott didn't much care. Thump for 4. Parkinson now to him. Loads of air once more. A chance to grip. Played into the offside by Abbott, and there's no run. 41 for Press, 20 for Abbott so far. He's looked good. Very much playing until then within himself, it looked like. Dead bats that one into the offside. There is no run.
Yeah, I think from what we're already seeing this morning, I think when Hampshire bat, whenever that is, bowl, whenever that is, I think the new ball is going to be very key.
So blocked into the offside again.
I think Hampshire are going to have to take all their wickets up top. It's going to look. It's going to be particularly hard when that ball starts getting soft.
And Parkinson 2. That's launched by Abbott. Next to the new scoreboard, that's... Oh, I thought it was going to be 6. No, it's just gone for 4. It's inside the rope. And Abbott goes to 24, Press 27, the partnership at 51. And this has been great for Hampshire. They were conservative earlier on, playing balls on their merits. Abbott just expanding now. That end doesn't suit Parkinson very much, I don't think. Or Abbott feeling free now. He's got his eye well and truly in to launch a ball over towards mid-wicket. And this is a problem for Kent now. 261 for 7, as you say. 5 overs to go until the new ball. But Hampshire, this is a more than reasonable total from where they started yesterday in terms of the condition of the pitch, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And, oh, is this new ball territory? Yeah. So it was a 4, wasn't it? It wasn't a 6. I thought it was signalled as a 4. But I lost the track of the ball. Danny Beldrummer's lost track of it. It's gone into the car parking behind. I've not parked my car there today. I'm quite glad. Another part of the ground.
So has it bounced over the boundary boards and then rolled into the trees? And
and then there's a dip and then the Nackington Road beyond. So
right. So it's on its way to Dover.
Could well be at this point. It was a sturdy hit by Carl Abbott. Most certainly.
I was going to say 2 pickup shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Superb. And they were both, proper shots. I mean, the ball was tossed up and it was inviting, that shot. You've got to execute it properly, and he certainly did that.
Yeah.
I think 1 or 2 people down that far end are sort of looking around. I'm not sure they're that, not with much conviction. The man in the white cap there looks like he had a little peep. And now has decided to go back to his position by the boundary board. A couple of cars are parked up around that area. And we've got a ball change. This ball won't last long. At the most it'll have 5 overs. But you never know, different ball. It might turn. The one this morning hasn't really done much at all. I think Matt Parkinson will be a little bit disappointed after seeing the ball turn yesterday. Doesn't seem to have done much at all today. Round the wicket he's leaning. Reverse sweep, and he's missed it, so has first slip. But has that come off the bat? We'll wait and find out. It's not going for 4. There will be 2. Abbott's turning. And they've got 3 out of that, and it was off the bat.
Yeah, there we go. Tawanamia's tried to anticipate going the other way. I think his weight is on his right foot as the ball comes in towards him. Yeah, he's leaning the other way. No pun intended. Has it come off the wicketkeeper's pad as well? May have deflected away.
It's gone too far, hasn't he?
Yeah. But yeah, he's going the other way, isn't he? Expecting it or hoping for an edge. But yeah, going the other way. A gap's appeared and the ball's gone through it.
264 for 7. Prester's moved on to 44, but it's Abbott to face. Leaning bowls. Abbott's cutting away. He's missed that. Or maybe a bottom edge as it goes out to short fine leg. There was a bottom edge on that. Again, a deflection. 265 for 7. Abbott moves on to 25. Valuable partnership, this. Hampshire were looking for a minimum of 250 this morning. They've certainly got that. And they haven't lost a wicket. So all in all, it's been a good, what have we had, 50 minutes, 53 minutes or so this morning. It's still overcast, but it just feels as though it's a fraction brighter. Missed the cut shot there, Prest. Goes into the safe hands of Harry Finch standing up. Give himself a little bit of room there, Tom Prest. Leading again round the wicket. And bowls, flighted. Prest drives through extra cover. But that will be picked up on the rope by Jatta Prest. Takes him onto 45. 266 for 7. Hampshire now in their first innings. Day 2 here at Canterbury. Floodlights are still on. Abbott staying round the wicket here, leaning. Abbott cuts that away. Fairly easy shot for him. Ball quite wide and short. Abbott steered it into the gap rather than try to hit it too hard. And moves on to 26. 267 for 7. We've had 6 runs off this over so far. 1 ball to come. Leaning to Prest, short, hammers that through mid-wicket, that should be 4. It is 4. Prest moves on to 49, 271 for 7, filthy ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, a little bit dragged, long hop, filthy ball, there we go, let's go for that one. It was, yeah, Jack Leaney knows that, and treated with the disrespect perhaps it deserved. 271 for 7. Yeah, and what I would say about St Kent, I know they're sort of treading water trying to get to the new ball, but Hampshire doing exactly what they should be doing here, aren't they? And taking advantage of some loose bowling and punishing them. 9 off that previous over from Parkinson, and then what was that? That was 10 off the over from Leading, and these are all important runs given the context of the match, given that they were 213 for 7 when we resumed this morning. They are starting to sprint away, Hampshire here. First batting point already in the pocket. Yeah, that experiment with Parkinson at the far end has stopped at 1 over, and Joey Everson brought back into the attack. So we'd expect Stobo and particularly Garrett to take the first ball, the new ball. Oh, umpire's having a chat with Daniel Bell Drummond. Daniel Bell Drummond's looking at the ball. He's looking at umpire Pollard. He's been quite a long conversation with Daniel Bell Drummond here. He's bringing Joey Everson back into the attack. Is he saying the light's not good enough to bowl the seamer? Who knows?
It's quite a long chat, isn't it?
It is a long chat. Bell Drummond looking around the field.
Well, Bell Drummond's nodding in approval, so whatever it was he was being told, he obviously is accepting it. I'm not quite sure what. Obviously, it's difficult to know.
It didn't look like it was an admonishment, a telling off, did it?
No.
I don't think they were.
Maybe just stating something, clearing up something.
Parkinson is brought in as a second mid-wicket to Abbott as Everson comes in. Straight back at Everson. Comes in lively medium pace. Got quite a long run. I'd say medium fast at this point. Everson, I'm not sure what's quite what's on the speed gun. We've got one out of fishing, have we, on the
I'll go more medium.
Yeah.
Without being...
Yeah, fair enough. Nippy.
Yeah, nippy medium.
Keeper up to the stumps. Abbott plays that. Doesn't quite get the full bat. So it lowered the bat up to mid-wicket. And there's no run. We're not getting the gun on Joey Everson at the moment.
I would say late 70s. Mid to late 70s.
Balls now to Abbott. Oh, he's edged and caught. That's a really good take by Jack Leaning, diving to his right. Getting low on the bat from Abbott. He's gone driving at that one. And that's an excellent catch by Jack Leaning. Saw an exceptional one by Denley yesterday. That one, as Leaning might say to us, he expected to take that one, but it's a good diving catch to the right. And that gets rid of Abbott. And the first breakthrough for Kent. And as he did yesterday, Joey Everson has taken a wicket in the first few balls of being introduced into the attack, but Kyle Abbott has done a great job for his side there. I think 25 what could be very valuable runs, holding up the Kent attack from taking quick wickets this morning to try and get themselves batting quickly. 271 for 8. It's a 61 partnership as well with Tom Prest. Great from them. Kent, it'll be a sigh of relief rather than jubilation, I would imagine, at this point as Abbott goes. Court leaning, bowled Everson 25.
That's a proper slippers catch, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And really only carried because Abbott went hard at it. You'll find that if that was just a prod, that would have died on leaning, wouldn't never have reached him on the fall. But it went quickly, it was low, and it was on its way down, and well to his right. That's a super catch. And do you know what? He never looked in doubt. It never looked as though he was going to miss it. He is a superb slip catcher. And he's just shown everybody why. Brad Wheel walks to the crease, who's recently completed that 3-match series for Scotland against Australia. 3-match one-day series. So it's come straight from Edinburgh, and straight back into 4-day cricket. He will be facing Joey Everson. He played in 2 of the 3 actually. I thought he played in all 3, but he played in 2 of the 3.
So Joey Everson there to Brad Wheel. And down the leg side, taken smartly by Finch. Cool, whips the bails off.
Good catch that.
Yeah.
That was neat.
It really was, wasn't it?
Cool. Down the hill as well, down the leg side. Like shelling peas.
Taken quite wide, and yeah, bails come off. Not bad for a man just learning how to wicket keep. 271 for 8. He's been great for Kent this season. This one is deliberately run down through third by Brad Wheel. They come back for a second. And Kent have finally taken a wicket this morning after just about an hour's play under gloomy skies with the floodlights on. It's Joey Everson who's struck, as he did early in his first spell yesterday, getting rid of Kyle Abbott, the Hampshire lower order batter. Great catch by Jack leaning at slip, diving to his right. Abbott, though, was stubborn this morning and then expanding with some big shots off the spin of Matt Parkinson as well to go to 25. A 61 partnership with Tom Prest, who's now on 49, really holding things up for Kent. They wanted quick wickets this morning to press the advantage they got yesterday, having Hampshire 213 for 7 overnight. So Kent still would like quick wickets before lunch here if they can, with Everson now 2 for 44. He's the only wicket taker this morning. Commentary continuing with Hampshire 273 for 8 via the BBC Sport website and app. So yeah, Everson, you're at mid-70s as a high.
Yeah,
that the speed gun says. One of our colleagues on the county circuit earlier in the season told me speed guns, absolute nonsense. I don't know where they got that from, but are they trustworthy, a speed gun?
I should imagine they're
I don't know the signs of it, so I don't know.
Well, I've absolutely no idea, but I should imagine they're like anything really, that the dearer the speed gun, the more accurate
well,
it is.
There you go.
If you go for the cheap option.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm no idea. But I think they're a good guide. It's a bit like light meter apps on your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably not as good as the ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to have one on my phone. It used to be great fun.
All right.
Maybe not as good as the one the umpires use, but it gives you a good guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, in fact, I think when I changed my phone, I've got to put it back on. But I used to have great fun with it. 273, obviously not great, otherwise I'd have put it back on. Parkinson's back from the pavilion end, our commentary end, and Press goes big over mid-off for extra cover. Has that gone for 6? Oh yes, the umpire's raised his hands, and that is the maximum for Preston, also his half century. Moves on to 55, 279 for 8.
He's just played really well, hasn't he? He's had 1 or 2 small scares, but otherwise not really given a chance to Kent. Here as it's, and that one's hit very securely indeed. A quality cricketer, and we are Oh, that is... I was talking
that
about
as well, are we?
I was talking about the hedges at Wrigley Field in Chicago. That one's gone into the hedge. Old Dover Road, Canterbury. Well, I've got 2 fielders after it. This one, yeah, has it lodged in the privet hedge there? God. Jack Leading saying to George Garrett, I think that's roughly where it went in. There's a gentleman behind. I think he's come out of Freeman House, probably to make sure his car is still intact. There's conversation between the fielders there. Where's the ball gone? Anybody? Can we have it back, sir?
Well, we're getting to a point now where you dare not hit it over the boundary because it's going to disappear somewhere.
Yeah, it's costing them a fortune in cricket balls.
So Prest's second half century in 3 innings actually, but the one previous was 156. So he is in good form this season. 55 from 75 deliveries. So another change of ball.
2 of them at 75 plus overs old.
Yes. Parkinson round the wicket, tossed up, low full toss, worked away on the onside by Prest. 2 fielders out there, good stop. Right on the boundary's edge away to our right. 2 to Prest. Takes him on to 57, 281 for 8. Hampshire closing on a second bonus point.
So that's Joe Everson with the work.
It's got a cap on. A few of the players have got caps on. I'm not quite sure why, but still heavy cover. Prest comes down the wicket. That turns. Now he's hit that over extra cover. Tell me it's not going into the same hedge. Otherwise we've got a problem. It looks like it might have done.
I think it bounced actually this side of the hedge. Maybe going... There's no spectators just waiting to come in. No, it's come back. There we are.
It's down by the gate.
Yeah. It's already, Might be that gent just come out of the car park. He said, you can have this one back.
14 off 3 balls. Prest moves on to 63. 287 for 8.
Next time it comes over, I'm keeping it, he said.
Parkinson. Prest comes down the wicket, tries to whip that away on the leg side, gets wrapped on the pad.
But joking aside, this is fantastic from Tom Prest here, isn't it? And making hay before the new ball's taken.
Definitely.
Still gloomy skies out there, but he is sighting it pretty large.
He also knows Mo Abbas is the next batter in, so you better get a bit of a move on. Comes down the wicket, hits it up in the air. This is going for a maximum in front of us. Bounces just in front of the pavilion, just to our left below us. Good strike. 3rd 6 of the over.
Yeah, over the rope though. And that is 20 off the over. This is really damaging for Kent as well.
293 for 8. We're in the 78th over. Last ball of it coming up. Parkinson staying round the wicket, still tossing it up. Prest works it on the onside for a single, and we'll keep the strike. 70 he moves on to. Hampshire 294 for 8 and closing in on a second bonus point.
Yeah, you'd have to say, from what we saw yesterday, even this morning with conditions, that 300 feels well over par from a Hampshire point of view. And worrying for Kent once again, as Harry Finch has a quick chat with Matt Parkinson. He's a pretty bouncy cricketer. I'm not sure he'll be too disappointed for long, but huge over that, wasn't it? 21 off the over. 3 sixes, a 2 and a 1.
Oh, the umpires are having a chat together. Very chatty, these umpires, aren't they?
By Blackwell with the, well, I say sun hat on. The sun's not out. I think he's got a bit of scarf on as well, wouldn't be at all surprised. Umpire Pollard is at the Nackington Road end next to Joey Everson, who'll come in now with 294 for 8 on the board for Hampshire. Leading going through some bowling motions. Again, just want to get through these next 2 overs without too much more damage, I would say, and then get the new ball. But the way Prest is batting, that might just disappear to the boundary quicker. I shot into the offside. They're allowing him a single on the offside. All the fielders there push towards the boundary. They want to go at Brad Wheel here. 71 for Prest. Wheel has 2. See his lifetime average is just under 11. First class cricket. 50 matches of them. Will then facing Joey Everson, single slip, two on the drive, seemed away from Wheel. It's played and missed outside the off stump.
It's only about the second player miss of the morning.
Yeah.
Just shows you how little there's been this morning for the seamers. Probably more to do with the fact the ball's old than anything else.
Yeah. I was going to say coming to the end of its natural life. It's the third ball that's coming towards the end of its natural life. We've lost two already. Everson to Wheel. That's looking drive. Good stop as well from Tuanamier, just forward of point. And there's no run.
That was a good shot for no run.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it?
Pinged off the middle.
Firm hit. Confidently struck by Wheel. 295 for 8. Faces now. This one up to mid-off to Daniel Bell-Drummond. There's no run. Said Kent not attacking. Certainly not with slips. Even probably on the tail ender as he comes in, which does suggest, as the eye test will tell you as well, not very much moving away from the batters so far. Great catch from Jack Leedon to get rid of Kyle Abbott. Have to find a way of getting these final 2 wickets. Wheel leaves this one. It comes in not very much from outside off stump from Joey Everson, and it's a confident leave by Wheel. Tom Press comes down to have a little chat with him. A very small chat. A word of encouragement. Maybe saying, stay there, let me have strike next up. I took 20 off the last over.
Will Parkinson get another over, do you think?
Good question. It will be just the one more, surely, as Everson bowls to Wheel. And he defends it up towards mid-off or long-off. Could have taken a single there. Not interested, though. And who will it be?
I'd give Leaning one.
He was warming up, wasn't he?
He's got another one. Yeah, no, he is. He's only one over to the new ball, but
yeah,
if that costs 20, well, I don't know. Will Press go for it again? I suppose he will. We'll trust him. He's played it well so far.
Yeah.
And it is a short boundary side down the hill, isn't it? And it is with the turn, or the little turn there's been.
Yeah.
So I think he would certainly trust himself, just open the body out as he has been doing, and effectively a miss hit's going for 6, really. Relative miss hit, anyway. There is a deep extra cover now just for that. Down the leg side, pulled away by Press. They're not taking a single. Goes down to fine leg. Could have quite easily have done so. Score remains on 295 for 8. Plenty of time for bonus points for both these sides.
Yeah.
Even though the second new ball is due in 5 balls time. Everybody on the boundary. Is Press going to go for a big one? He does, and he's got hold of that. That's over deep mid-off. That's going towards the dressing rooms, towards our left. I didn't think he'd quite got there. 300 up for Hampshire. Second bonus point of the morning. It didn't quite look as though he got to the pitch. I think yesterday that would have been a miss hit. But with the ball not turning quite as much, he was able to go through with a shot. 77 he moves on to. 301 for 8. Here's Parkinson again. Toss that one up, and Press hits that flatter. It's bouncing away, and Mieye will get there, coming round from mid-on. And Prest will pick up 2. Parkinson continues to toss it up, backing himself. And now Bell-Drummond's coming across now saying, I don't know what he would say. I suppose if I was the captain, I would say, look, yesterday tossing it up, probably worth the punt. Today, with not so much help, is it really a wise move to keep tossing the ball up? I don't know. I'm not Daniel Bell-Drummond.
That is the way he bowls, isn't it, Parkinson?
He does, yeah. He trusts himself every time, doesn't he?
His rhythm. I don't know if he will go flatter. Perhaps 3 balls. Bell-Drummond might be just saying, let's just get out this over. Parkinson bowls. Perhaps slightly less. It's
your over, sorry.
It's pinned him to leg stump. No, it's your over. I beg your pardon. No, I've walked into it, but yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right.
It's,
I'm getting lost in all the excitement.
Yeah.
Really?
And suddenly all the cavalcade of 6s.
Everybody on the rope. Pressed on the back foot, whips it away on the leg side. Just a single, ideal, because there'll be 1 ball for Wheel to face. This is always difficult for a fielding side when you've got one batter going really strongly. You have everybody back, but then the batter can just decide which ball of the over that he'll go to the non-striker's end, and then how many balls he trusts a non-striker. Brad Wheel's got one. Parkinson bowls and wheels forward. Thick outside edge, but it's gone to ground. 304 for 8. 80 overs completed. I'm sure we'll see that second new ball appear very shortly. Who's got it? Which umpire has it?
It's very exciting.
Oh, isn't it? That's the most exciting part for
Umpire Blackwell.
Who's got it? 50-50 chance.
Oh, Umpire Blackwell showing some great frisbee skills there, you'd have to say, with Jack Leaning's cap. And Freddie Young is putting the balls back in the box. Just below us.
Bill Drummond's having a chat with two of the players.
And calling Everson over. Have they taken the new ball? I think umpire Blackwell tossed it to umpire Pollard, thinking that he should have it at that end. We'll find out in a second, because the scorers will put up on the computerised scoreboard whether if it's.
I don't think he's got the new ball in his hand.
I don't think he has. There was a brief chat, wasn't there, with Matt Parkinson? I mean, it's not turning for him, so I wouldn't have thought necessarily that's part of the equation. No, and they are.
What's this all about?
Plastered to the boundary on the offside as well. In fact, on the leg side as well. I think pressed a single, which he'll take. How will this go up on the scoreboard? Yep, no, this is the old ball.
So why, when you've only taken one wicket in an hour and 15, and Hampshire have added almost 100 runs this morning, are you not taking the second new ball? Are you saying, well, this ball's so soft that it's difficult to hit at the ground? Well, we're finding with Tom Prest that he's not having a problem with it.
Field in now for Brad Wheel. Drives at it to Everson, who parries it to the feet of Tom Prest, who asks him if he can pick it up, and he does.
Oh, I'd love to know the thinking there.
Yeah. I mean, the only possible sense I could see in it if it's working better for the spinners, because it's not working for the seamers at the moment. But Everson bowls to Wheeled on the leg side again. Another good take from Harry Finch. No run.
But is it? I mean, Parkinson this morning.
Oh no, I'm saying it.
Has bowled none for 60 odd.
That's what I'm saying. If it was working for the spinner,
that's right.
It doesn't appear to be. So.
Oh, are they taking it now? Have they just tossed?
Was that it? Here's Everson, driven into the offside, but it's come off the bat nice and quickly. Dwayne Mier is getting the knees high, sprinting after it. 2 runs. The scoreboard suggests not. Is there? Can we see the gold writing on it? I said normally from the scorers, the computer scoreboard will have in brackets how old this ball is.
No, it still looks like the old one.
Yeah, I think it is. Everson clipped by Will. Nice shot on the front foot, but finds Parkinson at mid-wicket. There was a brief conference, wasn't there, with Parkinson and with Everson. Daniel Bell Drummond came away. Shall we not take the new ball yet? And why not? I can't quite see the sense in it myself. 307 for 8. Everson bowls to Wheel. Defends it into the offside, and that's the end of the over. Joe Everson takes his jumper. He has 2 wickets for 48 runs. Just keeping an eye on. Are they giving Parkinson one more over? No, Garrett's going to come on from the pavilion end. So surely this is the new ball. Umpire Blackwell has a ball. As if he's doing some sort of illusion, he's wrapping it up in a jumper. Is he going to put it? Oh, he's in his other hand. Is he taking the new ball out of the pocket there? So George Garrett is going to bowl.
I'm trying to arrow in on the ball.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't be doing that if it was a new ball, bowling it into the ground to Bill Drummond. Well, I'm sure there's a perfectly good explanation as to all this, but I have to say I do not know it. You've got one batter who's basically dictating play out there at the moment. Surely, from a Kent point of view, you want to be dictating to him, not him to you. Anyway, it is still the old ball, and we're into the 82nd over, 3:07 for 8. And Garrett has switched ends, right arm seamer, Press drives. Now, this is the other thing as well, you see. Press now trusts Brad Wheel. You know, would he let him, same as the previous over, would he have let him have 5 balls? Now we're changing the ball.
Here we go.
What on earth is going on here?
Did they particularly want Garrett on at this end to start? I mean, could have had Stowball on the other end with it, couldn't they? They're going to have a bowler at both ends. So
Well, I would have just given Joey Everson an over with a new ball.
Yeah.
I mean, why let him bowl with an old ball? You know, I mean, interesting. Actually, they've decided now. Wheel is facing that they then go. Maybe it was a loosener for Garrett.
Could be.
Maybe it was okay. Now Wheels, let's go the new ball. But anyway, after 81.1 overs, we've got the second new ball. For me, 7 balls too late. Because Hampshire have had a good morning here. And you don't, if that's the case, you don't delay the second new ball, but they have. Got a quick email here from Ron Paul, who says that on the live picture feed, the replays aren't working. It's nothing to do with me, Ron. I can't speak for Kent, obviously. I'm not sure Matt can. Oh, it's playing. Has he played a miss? No, I think he's kept inside the line. Now, I did say that Kyle Abbott's dad may be listening from South Africa, and I was right. Neil Abbott, good afternoon to you, because it'll just be afternoon there now. Solentcricket@gmail.com. He says, he said good morning. So when did this come? Oh, it was only about 10 minutes ago. Please never worry about anything you say about Kyle. I said about Deadback Kyle earlier. Neil's very good. I saw Neil earlier up. He was over here actually earlier on in the season. Saw him up at Edgbaston. Here's that's a good delivery. Swinging delivery. Beautiful shape through to the keeper. Wheel playing and missing at that one. So I think we can safely say that the new ball will still do a little bit. And the old ball, which we've watched this morning, has done very little for the seamers. That's a beautiful delivery. Garrett already has 3 wickets to his name. Just watching this again on the picture feed because it's right behind the arm. Oh, it's beautiful. Way swinger. In again, right arm over to Wheel. Wheel's driving that one nicely, pleasantly into the covers, no run. Neil goes on to say, never worry about anything to say about batting, bowling or fielding. I never discuss anything with Kyle. That has been said by the commentators during the games. Do you know what, Neil? I'll save you the problem.
Protecting you.
I will say that I said deadback Kyle. I'll see him in the hotel later tonight, and I will tell him. You guys really do great work and certainly keep us entertained.
Oh, bless you.
We here in Natal have a ground in Pietermaritzburg called the Oval. I know I've played there. I played there for the Pirates when I was over there. Oh, that's another beautifully shaped delivery which leaves Wheel, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's playing inside the line. Yeah, it's a beautiful over. Played there. As I say, there also has a tree about 3 metres inside the boundary. Do you know what? I never realised that. It is a first-class ground, but never a test ground. And it has been used for white ball internationals, but not very often, says Neil. Thank you for that. I must admit, I just don't remember. I just remember it being a bit of a drive out there for a club game. That's it, yeah. Quickish wicket, if I remember rightly, but that was a long time ago. Field scatters, trying to encourage Wheel to take a single off this last delivery. Wheel leaves that alone. Good carry through to Finch. End of the over, 1 off it. And it's 308 for 8. Hampshire having been 213 for 7 overnight.
Ralph from the emails, kentcricket@gmail.com. Hi man, Kev, he says, wasn't it 6 if you hit the tree on the full? I remember the tree well. I've checked it, it was 4. Even if it had gone on to score 6 otherwise, and he couldn't be caught from a rebound off the tree. Here we are, further on a famous encyclopedia site. It was viewed as a challenge to hit the ball over the tree. Only 4 batsmen, Arthur Watson, Leary Constantine, Jim Smith and Carl Hooper most recently, managed to carry the tree. Ralph's also saying, dead bat Abbott, good name for a pint, says Ralph from France. There we go. I'm sure there must be a microbrewery somewhere in Hampshire that could get a dead bat Abbott pint going. Surely.
Well, there's Abbott Ale, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I'm just thinking, Yeah. I suppose they might take it on, mightn't they? It's just a name.
A bit like the strand.
A bit like the Spitfire Ground here.
Yes.
It's all synonymous with the cricket.
That's right, yeah.
Thank you, Ralph. Fantastic. Is Charlie Stobo. Press tries to come down the pitch to take liberties with the first ball from Stobo. Hits him on the thigh pad. So getting a bit quicker into the body.
Looks like that's nipped back straight away,
Yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely
Bounce.
right.
That's why. I mean, I know it's only 7 balls, but
I
I
completely
just
agree.
cannot believe that they've delayed it even by that.
What was to stop, as you say, if it wasn't going to be Stobo, was it to stop Joey Everson bowling 6?
It's only an over. It's not going to. It's not exactly going to do too much damage with the ball, even if he bowls a horrible over.
Stobo then to Prest, who's on 82 now. And he's edged that between wicketkeeper and slip. You might argue one of them should have taken responsibility to go that either with the right hand of the wicketkeeper or the left hand of Jack Leaning. Double teapot from both of them as it's gone. Bisected them perfectly. He couldn't have done that better if he got his compass and his set square out there. Tom Prest, it's 4 runs. Huge frustration for Kent.
They were both rooted to the spot, and I mean, they never moved a muscle.
Am I being unfair? One
No,
of them has to go for it, sure.
I've said it often, and I've never been a first slipper in my life, but generally, and they are wide actually, there is a gap.
There is, yeah. Maybe it's just out their compass there, but Stobo, it's a lusty pull by Prest. 2 bounces before it gets the rope. Joe Denley measures up the throw, and they'll take 2.
Generally, as a first slip, you don't really want to be moving to your left, so you would look for the keeper to move across. But because there's such a big gap between the two, that you could argue that maybe Leaning has to think about his left as well as his right. And I've just been beefing him up about how good a slipper he is. But I think it's as much the keeper's fault as it maybe is Leaning. But even so, you couldn't have placed it better between the two.
There's a definite chance. And then Tuanda Mieye is now the stable door, basically. Now the horse has bolted. He's between them, although Brad Wheel is facing now. So just 1 saw off the previous ball. That's why Wheel is facing 4 from Prest, edging between the slips. This is defensive shot by Wheel into the offside off the bowling of Stobo. Phil's been in touch. Great to hear from you, Phil. Enjoying the coverage. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for emailing in. In light of, he says, no pun intended, the bad light issues during the last test in this game with players leaving the field while the floodlights are on, it seems there is a simple solution which no one seems to be entertaining. Tell us more, Phil. Well, I'll read more in just a second. But Stobo, with 3 slips now in behind Brad Wheel, bowls with this new ball. It pops up into the onside as he pushes forward, but it bounces well before it gets to Matt Parkinson at a wide mid-on. Says, well, I understand it may not be feasible to change the red ball for a pink one during play. Too many questions as to when you change it, etc. And if the condition was the same as the original ball. I can't see any reason why Test and First Class cricket can't change to a pink ball permanently. Essentially, this will completely eliminate bad light in all games where floodlights are present. So I know purists would disagree, but one-day cricket permanently switch to the white ball simply enough. Here's Stobo on edge. But it's not carried to Jack Leaning at second slip. And Charlie Stobo puts his hand to his head, and that's the end of the over. And he might feel, Charlie Stobo, well, and quite rightly, there for the grace and all that. He could have had 2 wickets in that over, but 3-13 for 8. This Hampshire pair survive, and more frustration for Kent. I'll continue Phil's email here. I know purists agree. Said white ball cricket permanently switch to the white balls. One-day cricket cricket permanently switch to the white ball simply enough. Cricket moved from uncovered pitches, etc., etc. He says the pink ball is deemed good enough to be used in day-night Test cricket, so surely it must be suitable for other first-class cricket. I'd love your views, especially Kevin's. That gives me an out, Phil. Thank you very much for that. As a former first-class cricketer, and a very good one too, in my view, says Phil. There we go.
Obviously his memory's blurring over time. Here's Garrett to Prest. Prest drives on the up, but so many fielders on the boundary. A pleasant shot like that isn't going to reach the rope.
P.S. says Phil, my holiday was lovely, thanks, but one essay per email is enough. There we go. I was saying, what were you doing on your holidays earlier?
Well, I think everybody's got a view on whether you can use pink or even orange balls. I totally agree. I think you have to think about just playing as much as you can. You have to think about the health and safety side of it, of course. But remember, these guys are playing in white, so you certainly can't switch to a white ball. Quick single, or is he going to take two? I think Prest looking for two. Will's got to get a move on. He'll be all right. That's a comfortable two. Shouldn't have worried. That's good awareness from Prest there. Just nudged it on the leg side. Didn't try and hit it too hard. He moves on to 89. Certainly an orange ball or pink ball, I think, would be absolutely ideal. Just keep playing, because I know there was that problem with the test, and then Ben Duckett says, well, we're the ones out there in the middle, blah, blah, blah. But they could have switched to an orange ball or pink ball, couldn't they? I think in this day and age, things are moving on. It's not acceptable now to just come off unless the light's really bad. Good bouncer. Press flailing at that one, but it's a little too high. I'll tell you what, it's a different game now with this secondary ball, isn't it? It's a totally different game.
It's lively out there.
Yeah. Again, I'll say it again. It's only 7 balls, but it was a delay of 7 balls, which might have produced something, you don't know. But the momentum is with Hampshire at the moment. Having only lost 1 wicket this morning after just under half an hour's play, Kyle Abbott, who added 24 to his overnight total and put on 61 for the 8th wicket, and they added 58 this morning for that 8th wicket. Here's Garrett, driven in the air but safe over mid-off, and they will jog through for a single, which will give Brad Wheel 2 balls to face Garrett from that far end.
So, you'll know this, Kevin, or certainly a listener will out there. So the pink balls that have been used as an experiment in the county championship certainly are different in nature to the Kookaburra or the Duke's ball. Yeah. I don't understand why that is, for a start. Why
there's something to do with the colour affects the leather.
Oh, okay, so dyeing it.
Apparently so,
okay,
yeah.
That's fine.
So the red's the ideal colour, apparently. Sure. Garrett's bowling to Wheels way down the leg side.
Thank you do know. There we are.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would totally alter the nature of the game if you suddenly produced a pink ball or an orange ball, whichever one you want to use. The thing is, it's like this game, potentially Kent might be batting in some sunshine later on this afternoon. Conditions change. And I think if you go into a game saying, well, of course, if it gets to a point where the bad light gets bad enough that we go off, but actually we stay on because of a change of ball colour. If both sides agree to that, Wheels forward, he could run a single, but he's not as he goes up the hill on the leg side. 316 for 8 after 84 overs and 2 and a bit overs with the second new ball. If you go into the game accepting that, then if you get these conditions, well, obviously they're playing now, but yesterday you just changed the colour of the ball.
Well, and as other people have pointed out, there are already variables within cricket as to when we had yesterday, a gloomy day with the balls seaming around a little bit more or moving in the air a little bit more. So add another variable, but keep playing cricket.
But at least you're playing.
Yeah.
Which would have pleased everybody here. A few here. But certainly test cricket-wise. And it is difficult. It is really difficult because you've obviously got to set standards of light and make sure that the guys are okay, because some pretty quick bowlers around.
Yeah, Stobo bowling to Prest now. Very bottom handy, as Kevin was saying, out towards wide mid-off. And a single taken.
Might have been a slight mistake there. I think Prest thought there might have been 2 there. So Drummond's too quick.
Early in the over then, it'll be a Brad Wheel to face with a new ball. And Kent do not want to mess around with this. They want to get these last 2 wickets as quickly as possible with this new ball. This is their opportunity with it 3 overs old. And 3 slips in. 2 edges in the previous over. 1 from Prest, 1 from Wheel. Oh, let's get some lift there off just the back of a length from Stobo. And Wheel rather indifferently plays at that and through the wicket, there's no run. No edge though.
It just feels, I mean, this morning when Abbott and Prest were batting, didn't really feel like a wicket was coming along. Now it starts. It's since this second new ball now, it feels like at least one and over.
Not very much jeopardy at all at this point. 3:17 for 8 Hampshire they've moved on to here. Update coming from BBC Radio Kent listeners, by the way, shortly. It's at Stobo to Wheel. He's forward on that one. Thought it might be uppish for a second, but no, he's defended that well enough. Past Stobo. And Danny Bell-Drummond picks up a mid-off. And there's no run. So, yeah, floodlights in full effect. There's no doubt about that. And we are on the field, so...
Yeah. It doesn't feel too dangerous out there, does it? Oh, it was darker yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, certainly came off a couple of times for bad light before eventually the bad light was terminal for the game. Stobo to Wheel, played on the offside and there's no run. And still just one wicket taken from Kent in this second morning. Hampshire 3:17 for 8. This looks an over par total in terms of runs. Kent really didn't manage to stifle that this morning. Some great hitting from Kyle Abbott, who got 25, the tail ender, and particularly Tom Prest, who's now 91 from 96 balls, the young Hampshire batter, as Kent toil trying to take these remaining 2 wickets to get themselves on the field to bat. But Hampshire 3:17 for 8. Kent have got the new ball available to them now, which is making things slightly more lively out there, and the bowlers a little bit more potently, the fast bowlers, but Hampshire still staying firm at the moment. Prest 91, Brad Wheel has 4. Kent with just 1 wicket this morning for Joey Everson, getting the wicket of Kyle Abbott, caught at slip by Jack Leaning. Commentary continuing of this match via the BBC Sport website and app. Stobo, it's a play and a miss by Wheel. That one's seamed away from him. He's played down the wrong line, but he's not got the edge that Kent wanted through the wicket keeper.
No, but they're creating Kent now, so you do feel that it's only a matter of time before a wicket falls, but it is overcast. And conditions are certainly in the bowler's favour once more, certainly with that new cherry in their hands. Email here from Steve. He says, good morning, don't worry, I'm not at Canterbury. Says Steve. I'm reduced to the live stream, but it's still watching cricket. Good to see Tom Prest going well. Hopefully, if you read this, it won't be responsible for you committing commentator's curse. Hopefully, I should be able to stay with you most of the day whilst doing some work on the laptop. Having said that, I think that Cherry wants me to do the washing up at some time during the day. Wow. What a lovely, lively life you lead. That's pulled away on the leg side by Prest, but start of a new over from Garrett, but they're not running that one. They could do. Say hi to all the usual suspects from the bowl and enjoy your time in Canterbury as much as I will enjoy watching and listening, says Steve.
It seems like a fairly relaxed deadline, that, doesn't it? Doing the washing up at some point during the day.
Yes.
But yeah.
Cricket and washing up, there you go. Ralph Brooker says, can the new ball be taken in mid-over? Yes, it can. It can be taken any time after 80 overs.
Some might argue it should have been taken
straight after, yes. Here comes Garrett. Bowls and Prest hammers that away on the leg side. It's gone over the top of the keeper. It's bouncing away down to fine leg, and they'll come back for 2. Prest will have to hurry, though. But Harry Finch is not recovering in time to get behind the stumps. And Prest completes that quite easily. He moves on to 93 off just 98. 319 for 8. Hampshire have added 106 this morning for the loss of Abbott. It's been a good morning for them. No doubt about that. Talking to Eddie Birrell last night, I think this is certainly at the top end of his thinking at the end of day 1. Garrett's into his 19th over here, 3 for 70. He hasn't added to his overnight tally of 3. He's over the wicket to Prest once more. Bowls full. Prest works that away on the onside behind square. Looking for 2 again, I'm sure. No. Wheel has to turn quickly. Expecting to run 2. Prest, I think, already decided that rather than risk it, he'll give Brad Wheel 3 balls of this over, and the field starts coming in once more.
Yeah. From all parts, aren't they? Really are. It's markedly different for the 2 batters here. I see Wheel as the man that can get out, but once again, he's not out. He's got 4 from 29 balls, and Tom Prest closing in on a 3rd century of the season.
Here's Garrett again then, running away from us. 3 slips weight. Bowles, and Wheel plays that nicely out to point. Just lets the ball come to him and just angles the bat out to point on the offside. He's on 4. Came together on 271 for 8, these two, so another partnership developing here. What's that, 29? 49 they put on.
Yeah. Just 4 from Wheel so far.
Yes.
But it's sticking around with him. With Tom
yeah.
Prest is the important thing, isn't it?
And getting through this second new ball unscathed at the moment. Garrett Skiddy coming in once more. Bowles, and it's on the line of leg stump. Flicked away, 4 runs down to Fine. He's asking the ball to do a little too much there, Garrett. Hoping the ball is going to swing, and that's the 50 partnership. 53 they've put on in just 56 deliveries, which is a tremendous rate. Momentum, as I said earlier, is certainly with Hampshire here at the moment, and I don't know, there was a feeling around here that it wasn't a bad day for Kent yesterday. It was just about okay, but still really allowed Hampshire to get too many. Well, now we're starting to get Hampshire making the most of not losing all their wickets yesterday outside the off stump, left alone by Wheel. That's another over safely negotiated, and one where the start of the next over Prest will be facing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking a bit ugly for Kent at this point. 3-2-4 for 8.
It will all be about getting through that ball. The new ball. Once the Kookaburra gets soft, we saw it earlier today, didn't we, really, where soft ball doing nothing for the seamer, so that's when Hampshire will have to work hard.
I mean, if they can negotiate that with just 2 wickets remaining and get through 15-20 overs, then they really will be in a dominant situation, surely, at that point. 3-2-4 for 8's not looking great at this point.
Yeah, they'll be hoping that the crowd cover stays as a crowd cover? Cloud cover.
Yeah. The crowd cover, about the same as yesterday, actually.
Is the Matt Walker flag away to our right? It's not there today, is it?
Not today, no. It's a Stobo to Prest. He's launched that slog sweep. It makes it sound like an ugly shot. It's a beautiful one. It's 6 runs. Has that hit a balcony at Freeman House? It's going to do damage to the new ball. Oh, the umpires are saying, no, we're going to need another one. And that is 100 for Tom Prest as well. Huge shot. 5 6s, 5 4s. He's been watchful. He was yesterday through the sessions last night. Today, he's come out of his shell and hit some glorious shots. That included 6 runs for Tom Prest. 100 from exactly 100 balls here, taking Hampshire to 330 for 8. This knock a huge part of why Hampshire look like they're dominating this first innings now.
What's that, 2 floors up on those flats? That's an amazing shot. Oh gosh, slug sweep over mid-wicket, right out of the middle of the bat. And that is his 3rd 100 of the season for Tom Prest. I've been saying that he's getting better and better, and he's certainly proving it now. 102 in the game against Durham earlier this season at the Utilita. 156 against Essex at the Utilita 2 games ago. And here he is with his 3rd 3-figure score of the season. And he's missed 3 games as well.
This has helped them out of a difficult situation, Hampshire, as well, hasn't it, here at Canterbury. With gloomy skies. And he's been watchful when he's needed to play well within himself and hit some glorious shots. So glorious. My apologies, Kevin. It took me a beat to remember that he got to his 100 with that 6. I was just watching it and marvelling. Fantastic shot.
Well, I think everybody on the ground was marvelling that shot. It was incredible.
Ball has flown beyond the flat, certainly. It's this is a new ball, a new ball. Stobo to Prest. This one just bends the knees, deflects it out towards backward point, and takes a single. Wheel comes down to the other end, but 100 Tom Prest, 330 for 8. This is already a big score in the context of this match. And Kent are hemorrhaging runs.
Yeah, it's a bit deflating, really. And this happened in the game against Lancashire up at Old Trafford. Same thing, really. Late order runs, one of the batters in and marshalling things, and it just knocks the wind out of you, and you just feel that that's what's happening here with Kent.
It's been the story of Kent's season as well. As Stobo bowls now to Wheel. Nice looking drive, but only as far as Joey Everson. We'll take a quick look around the country with that. At Chestler Street, Lancashire all out for 228. Durham 17 for 1 in reply. Essex 3-2-1 for 6 at Chelmsford against Nottinghamshire. They were in a bit of trouble earlier on, I thought, Essex yesterday, as I remember, but
they've only lost 1 wicket this morning.
Yeah, imposing total there. Surrey 75 for 2 up against Somerset 317. That's an intriguing game. Drive by Wheel, and he gets down low to it, scoops it a little bit with the toe end of his bat, but it's hit the ground first. Into the offside, and there's no run. Warwickshire 63 for 1 in reply to Worcestershire, who on a great run, Worcestershire. They looking like they would, with Kent, all ends up, we're going to go down. They've won 3 in a row now, and at New Road, posting more than 300 as well. Warwickshire 63 for 1 in reply. Yorkshire are somewhere ahead of Leicestershire now, 355 for 9. They bowled Leicestershire out for 98 yesterday, so 257 ahead in the first innings. Stobo to Wheel, gets a full face of the bat to that. Towards point, and there's no run. Gloucestershire 62 for 2. They're off for bad light at Lords in reply to Middlesex's 377. Northants 219 all out. Derbyshire replying now 159 for 6 at Wantage Road. Sussex having a great game against Glamorgan. Bowled them out for 186 yesterday. They're 200 for 3 now are the Championship Division 2 leaders. Stobo back to his mark. Bowls now to Wheel, 3 slips in behind, and Wheel, confident looking shot into the offside, offering him a single. He's not taking it, end of the over. And Kent with the new ball, although this is a second new ball, by nature of Tom Prest dismissing one, from, not only from the playing surface, but seemingly from the ground as well. But yeah, 6 overs, 5.5 overs in a new ball. Kent have not taken a wicket. Hampshire 3-3-1 for 8 have just lost 1 in the first hour and 3/4 of play today.
Yeah, and we've lost 3 balls today, haven't we?
Yeah,
effectively.
It's expensive business.
Yes.
There's a brand new one that's disappeared down the old Dover Road.
Yes. It's probably reached the coast by now.
Yeah. Be club cricketers grabbing that one for the village on Sunday.
Garrett starts a new over number 88 of the innings, bowling to Prest. Prest is on the back foot, steers that out of the covers. He wants a run, but there are fielders all round the rope, all round the ground, and realised from about a pace down that there was never going to be 2. And whilst you feel that he's trusting Brad Wheel more and more, that he probably should be facing the majority of each over, or certainly close to half of it anyway, which he's doing pretty well. And of course he's got to think about his own innings at the same time, and he's doing that particularly well. 101 not out he is, and he faces Garrett. He helps it on the leg side. Ooh, that wasn't far away from the stumps. He's right outside off stump, trying to help that away down to fine leg, and that hasn't missed the stumps by very much.
No. It's like a bit of a hoik, that one, but trying to help it on its way.
Jack Leaning's having a word with Garrett now. Just got to make the batter play in this situation. To bowl straight, it's easy to say, but actually Leaning's changing the field now, and in fact now he's going down to fine leg, as if he's expecting Prest to try and do the same thing. So deep backward square and a deep fine leg now. Everybody apart from bowler and keeper are right on the rope. Here's Garrett, bowls. Prest works it away on the onside. He'll take a single this time, so he's faced half the over, and will allow Wheel the other 3 deliveries. 332 for 8. Hampshire will be thinking about another batting bonus point here. Still plenty of overs. Into the 88th. 110 overs is the allotment allowed for both sides to pick up bonus points. Both sides have picked up 2 so far. Kent are 1 wicket away from another bonus point. Now for Wheel there are 3 slips, and apart from a fairly wideish fine leg, that's the only fielder that's on the rope. Here's Garrett. Wheel punches that confidently off the front foot up to wide mid-off. That's well fielded. Is that Parkinson there? 332 for 8. So Wheel has 8 from 37 deliveries, doing a great supporting job there. And Prest the standout, of course, 102 from 104. Very quiet around the ground now. I don't think... some of the home supporters are saying we've seen this all before, probably. Which is why they're quite quiet. Oh, he's gone for a cut shot there to a bouncer. It has relatively flown through on this wicket. Probably just bounced a little bit more than Brad Wheel was expecting. Well, he went for it anyway, and the way the field's set, unless it was a thin edge, that ball's probably making its way out to the boundary. Now the field scatters, encouraging Wheel to take a single. I'm not sure he will. Be surprised, but they're trying to encourage him anyway. Garrett, last ball of his over. Wheel just plays it out on the offside. They might have thought about it, but judging by where Prest was standing at the non-striker's end, I don't think the thought entered much in his head. So end of the over, 332 for 8. When the second new ball was taken, 7 balls late, it was 308 for 8. And as I say, I saw this last week against Lancashire up at Old Trafford, the fielding side, just hoping that this ordeal will be over as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm saying they were cheering all they could yesterday, the Kent supporters, and I think like the players, they're deflated by this Hampshire fight back, counter-attack, whatever you want to call it. Tom Prest has 102, faces Charlie Stobo, start the new over, steps across his stumps, and has he's hit that low eventually out to the offside. I don't think it quite was in the slot for him to smash it, because it looked like he was winding up for a big shot there, Kevin James, but eventually just has deflected out to
just
the
opened
other.
the face, didn't he? Really? Just stabbed at it, opened the face of the bat, and it's raced away to deep point. I mean, it's a lovely shot for nothing.
I think a bit more bounce, that might have found its way.
Yeah, I mean, anything in the slot, I think we're going to see something very similar, or an attempt anyway. And Stobo, I'm sure, knows that.
And Stobo to Prest. What can he do? Ooh,
it's well bowled.
It was bowled, well bowled. Yorker hasn't snuck through the defences of Tom Prest, but yeah, it's quite marked, isn't it? He keeps his hands low. He's just, you say, is that because he's mostly bottom hand, Tom Prest? Looks almost like feels almost unorthodox the way he's playing.
Well, he's waiting for one in the slot. Stobo equally is making sure that he's not bowling in the slot. It's quite a good little contest, actually.
It is, yeah. With the new ball, 332 for 8. Preston 102. Stobo bowls to him. That is short, and that'll be up in the air. And juggled and caught at the last by Jazz Singh, who didn't look in position. He was leaning to his right there and took it with one hand, juggled it to the second hand, juggle, and finally he has gone. And Tom Prest does go. Stobo drops one short, hoping it'll be lofted to a fielder, and Jazz Singh at maybe the third or fourth opportunity has taken it. Caught nonetheless, 332 for 9. Fantastic, entertaining innings latterly from Tom Prest. A conservative, concentrated, composed yesterday to see Hampshire through a really awkward spell, and this morning as well. He goes for 102. It is a fabulous innings, his third century of the season. Caught by Jazz Singh, bowled by Charlie Stobo for 102. Takes a long, slow walk, but he should soak up this applause. That is a fine innings from a young batter.
Yeah, it certainly was. That looked like it came right off the bottom of the bat. Anything middles on that short boundary side is going way over the rope. But that's well bowled, Stobo. He's just changed his plans. A couple of good Yorkers and then the short one. Good juggling catch right on the rope. You just felt the sound off the bat didn't feel right. But another foot, and it might have been all right. But wonderful stuff. 5 fours and 5 sixes in the innings of 102 of 107 balls, and given Hampshire a decent first innings score. Whether you bat first in overhead conditions or bright sunshine, in this context of this game, and where Hampshire are trying somehow to stay in touch with Surrey, they're probably not going to. At best, they can finish second. they needed a decent first inning score to give them something to bowl at. Well, I think they've done that now in what was a very tricky day yesterday, and might yet prove to be a tricky batting day today.
Yeah.
The second new ball's done a bit. The momentum's with Hampshire, so you never truly see the full effects of a new ball. I think we might do a little bit more when Hampshire come to bowl.
Yeah.
Now this is an interesting one because you've got numbers 10 and 11 at the crease. I think we've been used to seeing a proper batter in with Abbas.
Yeah.
I won't take anything away from Wheel.
Stobo now bowls to Abbas. That's a nice little shot. He's flicked that behind square all the way on the ground, and Garrett fields and a single taken. 3-3-3 for 9. Lunch would be at 12:30, but the umpires will allow them extra time to take this last
12:40?
12:40. Beg your pardon. But should they still be in at 12:40, my point still stands that there will be extra time allowed with 9 wickets down for Kent to see if they can take the 9th wicket. Hampshire will very much hoping to hold them up as long as possible here.
Yeah. I'm going to be interested to see how Brad Wheel plays this. I mean, he's a more than capable number 10,
yeah,
but it's different when you've got a top 5 or 6 batter in there. What does Wheel do now? Does he change his tactics?
3 slips in. He waits for Stobo, who bowls now. Oh, he's edged it, inside edged it, all the way along the ground, past Harry Finch. And Harry Finch's body language, that kind of sums up probably what Kent are feeling right now. The head just dropped as it went past him. No chance for the wicket keeper. Eventually down the leg side, all inside edge. Misses the stumps, and that is 4 runs.
Yeah, a bit of luck. I think Wheel there's just pushing at that one. I think if Prest had been there, he might have just played a forward defensive, but he's probably thinking, I'll try and be a little bit more attacking if I can. Hence he's pushed at that.
Yeah. Let's take an inside edge past the stumps. Stober then to Wheel. And up in the air and over the infield. In fact, it wasn't going where I think he wanted it to go, where I was looking. It's gone down through third, and that'll be 4 runs. I think he was trying to hit it through the covers over the top, but it's outside part of the bat. Safe enough, 4 runs. That finishes with 4-4. 3:41 for 9. All damaging for Kent, all brilliant for Hampshire, going towards their 3rd batting bonus point. Kent do have a 3rd bowling bonus point, but it's come at some cost so far. Wheel on to 16, Abbas has 1.
Well, I think he's answered the question. Brad Wheel. I think he's definitely going on the attack here. Now Kent need to cash in here. Big over in terms of bowling at Mo Abbas. And Bell Drummond is having a chat with Garrett, probably just reinforcing that message. Really do need to put Abbas under as much pressure as they can. No let-off ball, certainly not in the first couple of deliveries. Garrett's in. Pass to Abbas. Abbas is forward, comfortably enough. That's the Hampshire contingent below us. Travelling contingent. One of them, Colin, I saw him earlier. They'll have seen this situation a few times. That's why they're already clapping. Mo Abbas is forward defensive. So 3:41 for 9, having started the morning on 2:13 for 7. Garrett just taking his time back of his mark, almost as if he realises the importance of this over. Certainly the first half of it. Bowls to Abbas, who's forward. Goes out towards mid-wicket now. Abbas just showing everybody that ball might just have nipped back a fraction. See a lot of batters these days, don't they? They play a shot and then they take the top hand off the bat and just mock where the shape of the ball is. That's exactly what Abbas just did, as if to suggest that ball's nipped back on him. But he's negotiated 2 deliveries. Field is in, ring of fielders, and there is also 2 slips. As Garrett's in again and bowls it down the leg side. Now what do they do with the field? So they put more pressure on, or do they... There's 1 or 2 having a chat out there. Are they going to change the bowling at the fire? I don't think so. Stobo will continue, so I don't think it's that. The field hasn't changed. I might have had another slip in or gully, I think. Don't know. trying to think where from, but I suppose they've got to be careful because they want Abbas on strike. Here's Garrett again. Bowls. Abbas gets wrapped on the pad, but no worries there. Ball's going down the leg side. Best bounced a bit as well. Now, is that Joe Denley coming over to Bell Drummond? Just offering some advice now.
Does it look like Abbas is trying to work everything into the leg side at the moment, or is that just because
he sort of sticks his leg down, really,
yeah.
And yeah, depending on the line of the ball, plays around the leg a little bit, or
I guess they want to make him play, don't they?
Got to, yeah. Yeah, it's been a couple of balls going down the leg side, really, isn't it? Here's Garrett in. Abbas plays that one reasonably well enough. Ball goes out towards mid-wicket. Now they've got one ball here. Otherwise it's Wheel to face the next over, and I think from what we saw towards the end of that last over, he'll be playing some shots. I suppose it's a little different if it was Tom Prest, but even so, it doesn't matter. Head down, Garrett, at the top of his mark. Well, they're not encouraging Abbas to take a single, but I don't think they really expected that he would. The field stays the same. Bowls. Abbas is off the back foot, cracks that away to point. He wants a single for that, but no, says Brad Wheel. Well, I don't think I've seen Mo Abbas play a shot like that before, off the back foot, which is bounced. He's kept on top of it nice. I wouldn't say it was quite Vince-esque, but it was in it was in the ballpark.
I'd been extraordinarily happy with a shot like that. Well, Abbas is a professional cricketer, however, but yeah, coped with it well, as you said. Showed some little flair with that shot as well.
But nice. He kept it down, lovely.
Yeah.
Field was back at point. He could have taken a single.
So it'll be Jazz Singh from the far end replacing Charlie Stobo. Saw Matt Parkinson warming his shoulders up. That might be just to keep limber. He's bowled a fair amount this morning already. So the young Kent Seamer bowler Jazz Singh with an opportunity with a new ball just 9 overs old.
So why Stobo off?
I don't know.
I mean, he's just taken the wicket at Prest.
And he's bowled for... Is he off the field?
Ah, has he gone off?
I don't think he is. I think he's at square leg. Don't know. Are they going to bring him on from the pavilion end, maybe? But Jazz Singh is given a chance now with the new ball. Brad Wheel defends that. It's into the onside and there's no run. What you would say for Jazz Singh as a young seam bowler, he's not getting the ball, I think, most often, or probably in his first-class career so far. This will be the first time, I think I'm right in saying, he's bowled with a ball this new, so that he's coming on second change most often. So an opportunity for him, 3-4-1 for 9, but it's a good question. Stobo's only bowled 4 overs. This is a pulled away. Well, Hampshire here, 3-4-1 for 9, Dom. That's deposited for 6 over the boundary rope by Brad Wheel. So Kent have taken just 2 wickets this morning. They were hoping, with Hampshire resuming at 2:13 for 7, to mop up the tail of the Hampshire batting. They reckon without Tom Prest, a young Hampshire batter, hitting his 3rd century of the season. 102 he hit, with some colossal sixes during that time as well. Concentrated he was yesterday, stifling Kent's bowling, making sure they couldn't take early breakthroughs this morning as well. It was a fantastic innings. That doesn't help Kent or their supporters, though, really. Hoping for a victory here to somehow help them towards getting out of the relegation zone of the county championship by the end of the season. Hampshire at 3-4-7 for 9. This looks well over par in terms of runs, and Kent have to finish this last wicket off as soon as they can. Brad Wheel has 22, Mo Abbas 1. Hampshire 3-4-7 for 9 just before lunch on day 2. Commentary continuing via the BBC Sport website and app. This next one was a dot ball after the 6 from Brad Wheel, deposited over the square leg boundary. Leaves this one, comes back at him, but through the wicketkeeper and there's no run.
Am I right in saying Stobo's had 2 spells this morning?
Yeah, I believe so.
So in total, he's only bowled 8 overs in 2 spells. I just think he's, in this situation, he's got the experience.
Yeah.
You know, Singh hasn't. And I just think it was experience that got Tom Prest's wicket. It was a clever plan.
Singh bowls now to Wheel straight back at him. He's flat batted that back towards Singh. He's got the right hand up towards it. That's not even half a chance, is it? I think he's almost defending himself as it comes back at him. But, I mean, if it stuck, it'd been wonderful. But it hasn't, and it's a single, and he's wringing those fingers at the moment. No surprise by that.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. Kent are already, clearly frustrated, and why wouldn't they be with the morning? Why then take off probably your most experienced seamer, who's just, through a good plan, got Tom Prest out?
Singh now bowls to Abbas. Defends it. Back at the bowl, and there's no run, and Wheel will be back on strike, having taken himself 7 off that last over. And helmet comes on for whom? Wicket keeper?
We can have Parkinson back.
I think we are.
Yeah, that's not a bad move actually, with the number 11 in there.
Trying to get the ball will be bouncing a little bit more, I suppose.
Yeah, if it turns, it'll turn a fraction quicker. Yeah. There'll be a fraction more bounce. I mean, it won't be particularly dangerous, but there's just something a bit more than we saw enough from Parkinson yesterday, but it wasn't there this morning. There might just be a little bit there with a harder ball, so it's a good move. So 348 for 9. Hampshire's task now is to eke out another couple of runs. I'd say eke out, gosh, the way they've been batting this morning, I think that would be too much of a problem, but I think this is a good move. And the sun is trying to poke through the clouds, isn't it? It does feel slowly but surely. Conditions are improving. It is a slow improvement, but improvement nevertheless. In Parkinson then, from our commentary end, the pavilion end, bowls short to Wheel. I think he's gone for the googly there straight away, but it was too short. Wheel's 23 from 47. And doing a very good job for his side at number 10. Parkinson bowls. Forward is Wheel. Goes harmlessly out on the onside. This is only his 3rd championship game of the season, Brad Wheel. Played a lot of the 50 over campaign. But this is comfortably his top scorer of the season. Had 3 innings up until now. He's just about doubled his previous best this season, as that's pushed back to Parkinson. Clearly taking these last 2 runs seriously here, Brad Wheel. There's a slip in for him, that's all. That's the only close catcher. Parkinson in again, drives his Wheel. They'll get a single there. In fact, they'll get 4 through extra cover. That's a beautiful looking shot. And there's the 350 up for Hampshire in the 92nd over, and another bonus point. Classical extra cover drive. Again, Parkinson's not frightened to toss the ball up, but he's slightly over-pitched there. Now there's an extra man being brought in that area, which they've had by and large for most of the top order batters, but not for the number 10. Wheels forward. Probably feels the job's pretty much done, but still chance for Hampshire to still eke out some more. I'll use that word, eke out, again.
Yeah.
I think now we are at the period where you eke out some runs. They're all bonus from here on in. It's been pretty much a bonus for most of the morning. Wheel works there on the onside. That's good batting. Knew exactly what he was trying to do there. Gap on the leg side. Knew he wanted a single. And in the end, it was fairly comfortable. And he'll keep the strike. 353 for 9.
Yeah. Single at the other end. Parkinson on this. Kent struggling to take these last 3 wickets. In fact, I think was that 2 61-run partnerships this morning. Abbott and Prest put on 61 together for the 8th wicket. Yeah, I think it's Prest and
right.
Wheel put on 61. There's another 61 here, crikey. That will be that will hurt. Odds against it, you'd think Kent will be holding in here, but what they've put on so far, 21 between, all important runs, 21 between these two already. As Will's not quite sure whether that's gone, but played off the inside part of the bat into the onside, and there's no run. It's absolutely silent out there from a Kent point of view as well, fielders, isn't it?
Yeah, you would be. It's tough.
Yeah.
You would expect it to have wrapped this innings up within, I don't know, worst case scenario, within an hour. That's not happened. But listen, I'm thinking of a plus here. From a Kent point of view, the longer that Hampshire are batting, the better the conditions are getting.
Well, it's part of the cunning plan. Maybe you're right. The sun's out now. Here's Singh bowling to Bass into the offside. Pitch flattens out.
Yeah.
Kent score 600. Hampshire wilt under scoreboard pressure on the fourth afternoon. Easy as you like.
I mean, these things happen every now and then. But it's, Kent are going to have the best of the batting conditions.
Yeah.
I mean, even a wicket falls now. You've got lunch, and this sun is getting stronger.
It is indeed. As Singh bowls to Bass, got himself in some sort of position there. Almost like he was up on his toes like a boxer there, with both feet facing forward. He got the bat to it. And I'm not mocking him at all, but it's slightly unorthodox. But he's still in. That's the important thing. And this partnership's still going on. 3-5-4 for 9. It's quite blustery out there at the moment, but the sun's definitely taking over from the floodlights at this point. As Singh bowls to a Bass outside part of the bat. That's into the offside. Single taken. Joey Everson runs from cover to get that. And one more to the total. So, as you said, Kevin, 12:40. So this would be when lunch is, but the umpires will add, is it 15 minutes at lunch or half an hour can they take? We'll find out. The Kent officer on that as soon as they radio to tell the scorers. We'll find out for you. Here's Singh then to wheel over the top, and that'll be 4 runs. Or will it, actually? Danny Belram's going to get there. Slowish outfield after the rain the days before we got here, and Wheel has driven that over the head of cover, and Danny Drummond goes to get that from mid-off, and they come back for a well-run 2, and they are 3-5-7 for 9. And Kent, as I was saying, I'm sure before, have given up 400 in the first innings of all but one game this season. This really didn't look like it was going to be one of them. They'll still hope it's not. Singh to wheel, that really is flat batted. Up towards mid-off. Almost toe end that was. Wanted a single or more. Gets nothing as it's fielded by Parkinson. End of the over, 3-5-7 for 9.
If you take the innings as a whole from 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon and you looked at the overheads and everything else, this was never a 350 innings.
I think 300 would be over par on this.
Well, yeah, and as I say, Eddie Birrell was sort of hinting at it, although he was never 100% sure what was a good score. I think the way the conditions are improving, then Hampshire have done terrifically well to get to this, but Kent won't find it as hard early on. I'm not sure Hampshire found it as hard as it might have been. As I say, there are mitigating factors because there are a lot of Kent bowlers injured and probably would have made slightly better of the conditions yesterday, early afternoon. But even so, you bowl with what you've got, and you play with what you've got. Hampshire were let off to a point early on. Here's Parkinson bowls, and forward is a Bass. But if the conditions keep improving the way they are, I think Hampshire needed this total. Actually, I think to have been around the 220 mark would have actually put them under pressure.
2 bits of news for you. Not only fielding pads and helmets being gotten, but we are in half an hour, or 8 overs, whichever is the latest. The umpires are allowing for Kent to take this final wicket of the Hampshire innings, and the floodlights are going to come down shortly together, so the winds that preclude them being up for safety reasons have got high enough, all the gusts, so they come down. But actually, that's coinciding with the best light of the game, so that's no bad thing.
So do they come down during the play? I mean, that makes a noise, doesn't it?
It makes a heck of a noise. I mean, they go up during play as well, so...
Okay.
But...
got a break here waiting for...
This will be the perfect time. Yeah, they definitely need someone to get... I mean, if you fancy it after a day's play, get up and give it a bit of oil, Kev, that'd be great. We'd all be very grateful.
Supermarket down there will get me 3-in-1. Is it 3-in-1 oil?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Or another preparation which starts with a couple of letters.
WD-40.
Well,
oh, of course, I knew you were saying. Other spray oil cans available.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I think everyone knows what we're talking about. I think we're all big and old enough.
Is this your over? I can't remember.
No, it's yours.
Okay, it's Parkinson's got the short leg in now. Oh, Bass has turned. Has he got an edge on that? It's gone through the slips. We will wait to see in earnest what Ian Blackwood does or doesn't signal, and that was an edge.
Oh, goodness.
Now, did it carry? That's the next question. But that's a good delivery. Bass didn't do a lot wrong, just prodded forward. And it's turned off the pitch. But has it carried? 3:59 for 9. Bowls again. Oh, it's gone for the reverse lap. What is he doing, Mo Abbas? Off the pad, he's caught it short leg, but fortunately hasn't got a bat on that. What on earth was that? If you're watching the live picture feed...
It's a very strange shot.
Please look at that, because I don't know how to describe that shot. He's forward and he's got a bat on that. This is the thing with Mo, that if he bats for any length of time, and I'm meaning 10 minutes, he then starts thinking that he can do this and that. And we've just seen an example of that. That was... what shot was that? Right, here's a Parkinson. Oh, that's a leggy. It's gone down the leg side. Googly, it's gone down the leg side. Has it flicked the pad? Yes, it has. And they'll come back for 2. Oh, it's Bice. Oh, he's beaten everybody. 361 for 9. That attempted, I don't know, scoop, reverse, scoop, lap, I don't know what it was, is worth bottling up. And keep on your computer somewhere.
To watch it again.
Forward is a Bass. End of the over, 361 for 9. I don't think anybody in the Kent side is laughing.
I think it's hit him on the right buttock as he's turned there.
I don't think I've ever seen a shot like that.
It's unorthodox, that's for sure. End of the over. We're laughing. I'm sure Kent aren't out there. Crikey. Yeah, I'm wondering about that edge as well, if it's gone past the keeper or it's gone in between keeper and slip. But still, 361 for 9. Mo Abbas is keeping us entertained royally. Jazz Singh goes to his mark. This is 15th over of this innings of the match. Right into that. Just one slip in for Wheel now. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. He's a number 10 and they are allowing him a single. 361 for 9. Singh to Wheel, goes for this one. Slightly round arm that one out towards mid-wicket. Doesn't connect with that one, which I would suggest if he had, it's either carrying to Anamiye for 6 or hitting him smack in the chest, but neither of those things. It bounces apologetically towards him, and it's a no run. 361 for 9. Singh to Wheel, goes for this one, and that was the one where he has connected. That'll go for 6. Would it hit pylon number 2? Would it hit the scoreboard? It might have gone in between. It's 6 runs, and someone's going to go and retrieve that, I think. Past the car park, past the skip, 6 runs. And Brad Wheel has 37 from 57 balls now, and this is adding insult to injury for Kent. They are forlorn here, and even Daniel Bell-Drummond appears to be running out of ideas of how to keep the runs down. Just get one of these 2 out. 367 for 9. The partnership is now 35. Wheel faces again. He just scuffs that one to the offside. They'll come through for a quick 2. Jaden Denley, the sub-fielder, is coming in there. The throw doesn't get to Jazz Singh quick enough. And that was Wheel diving at the far end as they come back for...
Oh, I think that was Mo Abbas that said no.
Oh, was it Abbas? Yeah.
Oh, I think that might have been him that called no. I think that's a great call because...
Sorry, that's just a single, isn't it?
Yeah. That was suicidal, that second run. Wheel was going.
Yeah.
Great call, Mo Abbas.
You're right, because that was very close at the end of the non-striker's end. Ooh, that's that hit Abbas. They come through for a quickly run single, which will be a leg by. Shy at the stumps by Finch. From the wicket-keeper's end to the far end. Doesn't hit the stumps. But yeah, they're taking quick runs here. Yep, come through for a leg by. Abbas has slightly worn that, I think, on the forearm or on the bicep. And that is they scramble through for a leg by. But all these look very important runs at this point for Hampshire.
What, they put on 37?
Yeah, 37 at this point. It's the last wicket. Previous two of both 61. Will goes for that one. Watch out, Mo, at the far end, because that was a bit of a Mo, wasn't it? Pun intended. Past the non-striker up towards long on. A little bit agricultural, Brad Wheel, but when he middles it, it's going.
Yeah.
And that one's been thumped up to long on. Danny Bolger on the field. Single taken. Won't mind that too much, Hampshire. 9 off the over. 8 off the bat. 1 leg by. If Vass can hold firm here, Wheel can have another go next over. And he does. On the front foot, a little clip. He holds the post as Mo Abbas into the onside. And oh yeah, he's now miming a flick which was going to bisect the field on the onside the next ball, but it's the end of the over. 370 for 9. And Hampshire having a lot of fun. Kent having less than 0, I'd imagine, here at 39 for Wheel, 4 for Abbas.
Yeah, and I don't know, a lot of people will be watching and listening thinking, well, if Hampshire can bat all the morning and we're now into what would be lunch and they've only lost 2 wickets, then surely for Kent it's be a bit of a breeze when they come to bat, and I think it will be easier than yesterday, that's for sure. But I think the match situation is also, it's amazing sometimes how you can bowl, and because one side is much further ahead than they should be, that whatever you do doesn't seem to quite work, and all the momentum is with the team, with the momentum, if you know what I mean, and Hampshire certainly have that. So I don't think Kent will have it all their own way when they're back, but they'll certainly, they should get a decent total. Gosh, Wheel whips that away on the leg side, not quite where he was aiming behind square, but confident enough to go through for a single and allow Abbas to face potentially 5 balls of this over. 371 for 9. Field comes in as you'd expect. Short leg in now. Slip in. I would have a gully, but there isn't one. As Parkinson bowls, flighted, driven but not timed by Abbas. Looks at the bottom of the bat as the ball makes its way back to the bowler. So Parkinson's into his 24th over here, 3 for 102. Hasn't added to his 3 wickets overnight. I think there's some spots of rain in the air. As Parkinson bowls and Abbas is forward. Is there 1 or 2 spots in the air? Or is it me?
Maybe just blowing across with the clouds. I'd imagine the umpires at this point, with the wind blowing pretty hard across the ground, they may well just keep them on anyway.
It has actually filled in a fraction, actually, isn't it? Where it's been improving most of the morning, it's just got a little darker as Abbas forward defensive.
I tell you, if the floodlights were coming down,
I don't think they will at the moment.
No,
that's too risky now.
Maybe they'll.
Well, you can't now.
Maybe they'll come down during lunch. You might be right.
I'm sure there's the odd spot out there. Parkinson in again, and Abbas is wrapped on the pad. Looked like he was going to come down the wicket there, and then decided at the last minute not to. He was not really in a great position to play that forward defensive, hence it's wrapped him on the pad. May also have been a bit of a googly from Parkinson. Field scatters on the leg side, encouraging Mo to hit it there for a second. It goes for the reverse lap. He's connected with that, but it's gone straight to the fielder at backward a point. Fortunately along the ground though. But what, Mo? Just replaying that shot. Oh dear. 371 for 9. It is raining.
It definitely is.
Yeah. Umpires are having a chat.
Just checking this. I'm looking at this again, thinking this can't be right. Is this 158 for the loss of 2 wickets this morning?
Well, they resumed on 2:13.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
158 for 2 effectively in this session.
Yeah, not ideal.
And that's wickets 8, 9 and 10.
Well,
yeah,
I think it does reflect the fact that it was an old ball to start off with, which did nothing, and it didn't even turn either.
Tom Press was brilliant.
Yeah. So that first hour and a bit, there was not a lot happening for the bowlers, was there?
It is appreciably cooler now as well as this cloud blows over. Singh bowling to Wheel. Again, he's going to try and flat back that through the leg side. It's just outside the off stump, and it's straight back to the bowl. There's no run. The field is almost taking cover from Brad Wheel here. They're offering him a single, but trying to catch him on the boundary as well, because he's made his intent very clear, and it's worked very, very well so far.
39 these were put on now for the last wicket.
Yeah, Will has taken a turn, as you say, out there. Here's Singh to Wheel.
Oh.
Up in the air. That's going out of the playing surface. That'll be 6 runs into the car park, maybe even to the Nackington Road. That is a huge hit from Brad Wheel. 377 for 9, and the number 10 batter, with an average of around about 10, has 46 so far. Has someone found that ball? That'd be very handy if they have. The club coffers.
And Brad Wheel, has just equalled his highest first-class score. And that is for Hampshire, 46 not out. He's playing his 47th first-class game for Hampshire. And this is his equal highest.
I tell you what, if he connects with another one of those, he'll have a 50 as well. There we go. For his pains. Gloomy out there. Are the umpires saying, look, I'm afraid it's got too inclement. It has, and we will come off, I think, for light here right now. Brad Wheel would have loved to stay on one more ball probably to launch that one away for 6, but we will come off just a little bit early. There was another 15 minutes available, I think, wasn't there, for Kent to take the last wicket, in inverted commas, or Hampshire to cause even more catastrophic damage. But this is a session in which they have scored 164 for the loss of 2 wickets, and I was just saying those were the partnerships, the 8th and 9th wicket and the 10th one, which now stands at a healthy 45 if you are a Hampshire supporter, or a sickening 45 if you are a Kent supporter. The two teams come off. Hampshire 377 for 9, absolutely dominated that session, and will have every hopes of carrying that on after lunch, and perhaps taking a few quick Kent wickets this afternoon as well.
Well, what can I say? That's been an incredible morning, really. And Tom Prest, wow. Unbelievable 100. He actually added 87 to his overnight total, but Brad Wheel as well. It's been a perfect morning for Hampshire, it has to be said, and to get up to around 400, which is normally a standard first innings score here when the sun's out and it's the whitest of wickets. So they've done terrifically well.
Thank you, Kevin. It's Kevin Jones, and Matt Cole will be back with you in around about 40 minutes' time after the lunch interval here. Please join us then. All right, I'll see you shortly. Just off the field for lunch here, Dom, and Hampshire still batting, which is the problem for Kent. They had them 2-13 for 7 when they resumed, the visitors, today. Kent, a really good bowling effort yesterday, but they really have been thrashed around Canterbury today, particularly by Tom Prest, 102. He finished with his 3rd century, the young Hampshire batter of the season. And then number 10 batter, Brad Wheel, has 46, his highest score of his career, again with some lusty blows into the boundaries and beyond here, losing 3 balls in total this morning. The visitors are very profligate of them indeed. But joking apart, Kent have really suffered here. They're bowling unable to take these last 4 wickets needed to get rid of the Hampshire batting lineup. So at 377 for 9, Hampshire, that looks way over par for the surface and the conditions here. And when Kent come out to bat, they will be in the defensive action, I think, but that's when they come out to bat. This final pair, Abbas on 4 and Wheel 46, look like they have no intention of giving up the ghost just yet. In for lunch now in about half an hour's time. We'll have more commentary via the BBC Sport website and app.